last couple of times we've seen Naknako versus Wunder, it has been pretty Naknako heavy favor. So I think this is where my eyes are drawn to the top lane to see how a lot of this draft is going to sort itself out, how Wunder can try and bounce back against this, because as you heard from the desk, I think SK have started to figure out how they want to approach the game, how they want to try and play a their mid game, how they can enable Yop in so many different situations. So if we don't get cleanliness from Vitality, there is a chance here that SK could end up sneaking some games away.
And maybe that cleanliness isn't a required thing, especially when going up against SK, and your point being that SK as well can fight fire with fire. Their matchup versus G2, especially that game one, was very impressive when you consider that SK as a team really struggled through their laning phases when Leader was back in the roster. Now with SlowQ, there's a lot more caliber of play, and that's what's got me excited about this team as we're about to run into pick and ban for you as well. I can tell you Akali, Poppy already taken off the board here as we're still on 26-15.
Yeah, I also think SlowQ definitely brings an identity to the mid lane, right? Yep. Like we see a lot of the Silas, the Gallios, the Annie, like kind of those facilitator champions. Like he has brought out other stuff, like there's the Cassiopeia, the Lock, but definitely kind of more of a, I'm going to set up for the team and then try and enable them in that way, and kind of enabling Yoppa in a lot of situations, who has definitely been the core carry for the team.
Oh yeah.
It's like 34.2% of the team's damage on average. Like this guy is definitely a heavy hitter for the squad.
And was as well. I think just finally getting his room to shine. Again, less liability in the mid lane from my perspective, and SK have been using that to its fruition. Victor's going to be the first lock in here. Remember that Varus is open, I was surprised. And there are things like the Shen that is still so huge. The Shen pairings as well are endless right now. You might not have the Cassiopeia, but like Olaf has been one of my favorite picks of the meta as well right now.
Yeah, I mean, you've even got kind of like a dive composition you can set up, right? Vi left up and available as well when we traditionally don't see it. We actually see that band away oftentimes alongside that Poppy. So the Vi option is there. The Varus is already taken. And I think you do have the chance here as Vitality, if you want to try and go for something like a Vi and a Rumble if you want to. Yep. But that would basically lock that Victor into the mid lane. But at least you know you're not against one of these mages in the bottom lane with that Varus on the opposite side.
See now for those, you're talking a little bit more about that jungle. Jarvan's also up and available. If we're talking more the hot pot traditional combo with Victor, looks nice here for Vitality. If they want to give Naknako a rumble, he's played a game of it already, but Pantheon, fresh lock in here that we don't normally see in the LEC. That's going to go straight to Linsus.
Yeah, this says to me they really want to all in on early skirmishing, especially if you're going to take the Bard here alongside it. We still kind of expect that Victor is going to the bottom lane. Obviously, the flexibility is there.
Yep. But
certainly, Pantheon, exceptionally strong, level 3 onwards. And you've got that Bard to try and support him. So I think Vitality kind of looking at what SK have been going for in the early game and saying, right, we want the tools to fight back against SK in that 5 to 6 minute range.
And I guess as well, they're also saying that we don't want to give away our cards just yet. With that Victor you talked about, it's probably going to be bottom lane, but again, we could always see it on Fiesta through. For now, Jarvan gets locked in. SK have themselves a good bit of dive. And when that Shen gets involved as well, they are all in. As for now, let's see. 80 carry bands are going to be the next expectation, or towards the mid, whichever one that SK are thinking about. Right now, they're saying that maybe that Victor is towards mid lane, as Caitlyn's first to go.
Yeah, that's kind of what we traditionally see, is that you don't actually know where this Victor's going to end up. So get rid of the Caitlyn, get rid of some of these Pains in the bottom side. Ezreal may be the next to go as well. But we have seen that Yoppa is willing to go for that kind of mixed build with the static Shiv, and you get the tier build, and you kind of end up with this little bit of poke, little bit of clear, little bit of AP. It's kind of nice. So I think you still have flexibility with this Varus pick. It's exactly how you want to try and play it out. But it does get way more interesting when you do look towards that top side matchup, because I do think stuff like the Olaf can play very heavily in that top end. And we're kind of saying, look, Naknako likes to go towards things like the Gnar, these kind of picks. So if you're able to get the early pick of the Olaf, there's very little that can kind of answer for him in that top lane.
Oh, that's right. I'm glad you brought it up, because again, in the top lane...
Pa ljudi moji, veliki pozdrav i dobro mi došli. Evo nas u još jednom leca. Bro, ne znam pričam, samo sam zamenjen od strane bolje kastera bio i sad, razumete, nije lako. Ali chill dan, imamo jednu partiju koja je možda trunku očiglednija, jer u teoriji Vitality bi trebao da bude lagan, ali kažem SK, mislim da je počeo da igra sve bolje i bolje. I onda imamo G2 i Navi opet meč gde u teoriji G2 je favorit, ali u praksi mislim da postoji neka šansa da i Navi nešto može se pita tu, tako da vidjet ćemo šta će se izdogađa. Veliki poz još jednom. Varus.
is what I'd put SK.
Viktor, evo sad Eni, baš gledam draft pa ću onda u odnosu na to. Mislim da bi Vitality trebao da bude malo bolji,
Also a potential
ali vidjet ćemo kakva je situacija.
an option in the past that could still technically be a flex. Dagda's shaking his head a bit because I think you're probably what my internal monologue's telling me that most likely not.
Yeah, I think at this stage you just try and go for an answer to the top lane. You could end up going. Yeah, you've got a lot of options here for Wonder. It's just kind of what do you think is your most comfortable, but something that does have threat in the side lane, I think is your best.
Jer mislim, trenutno je Malkice na stakovaniji dan. SK 1-2, Vitality, ako se ne varam, su 2-2, G2 je 4-1 i Navi je 2-1. Tako da u stvari današnji dan u odnosu na ostale koje smo imali su u stvari dosta bolje ekipe. Sad kažem Vitality, ja mislim da je 2-2. SK znam da je 1-2. U teoriji Vitality ima pobedu više, ali mislim da u praksi Vitality bi trebao da bude dosta kvalitetniji.
Successful as well. So, Dagda, I am seeing a lot of setup for fighting here from SK. Simple enough. That's not a nah 80 carry, guys. Just chill out for a second. Chill out.
Yeah, I do think for SK, it is clear, hey, we have solid team fighting, good early skirmishing, and basically trying to have the roam to come through as well. On the Vitality side, they'll swap, yeah.
Okay, sorry, Dagda,
on the Vitality side, I think you still have like the ability to try and play for these like early game skirmishes as well, with the Pantheon and the Bard starting to roam around, especially if Rumble can start to shift down. But I think that's kind of what SK are banking on with this Nara now, is trying to get control over top side, enabling a lot more control over the mid lane as well with the Rise, and hope that this Shen can then have an impact. But I do think that a large portion of this game will come down towards kind of the early control either side can get, because strong mid games on both sides, good team fighting on both sides as well.
An ability again to pull those skirmishes out. Let's see. SK and Vitality, two teams that right now are trying to get into that upper echelon, and you could say that about any team in the LEC, like especially since G2 and KC broke away from the large meaty bulk that is the summer standings. Vitality on 2 and 2, SK on 1 and 2. A win here means the most as we crest upon the halfway point of the LEC regular season. Feels like yesterday we just came back, and already we're talking about getting halfway through.
Samo jednu bitnu stvar da rešim.
Coming up onto it. And with playoffs only just around the corner, the talking point is whether SK can get themselves there, right? Like, I think a lot of people were doubting them coming into the regular season, but at this stage they are starting to put themselves forward as a contender, but would like the wins in that column to back up that statement, and it could start here. But already we're seeing Shen very active in the LEC at level 1, and Mickey, I thought might have been trying to make some action happen, but may just be answering into this bottom lane.
He'll be mid lane in a couple of minutes, Dagda, don't worry. They will be mid. I can tell you that for certain, as Yoppa's taking the TP here, so is Kazi. Notice triple TP on the side of Vitality here in this game, while only two are going to be there for SK. And D-Shield taken up in the top lane for those that matter. Little Shadow Dash onto Fleshy. Cosmic Binding not going to connect in return. The damage buff is amplified here.
Film? Tužan?
Yeah, the Shadow range of being at 600 is kind of insane.
Pa nemam pojma, ne znam.
To have a longer attack range than them, so
Okej mi je, nije mi bio,
try and yeah, you can try and manage, especially against the
što mi je bio komedija, ne?
long wind up timer.
Ili se ja možda, ili se ja možda tripujem.
We'll have to see if Mickey's going to be able to find that as we coming through. But there you go. See, right? You just get that quick taunt as Fleshy goes for the auto attack, and it means that you can try and trade effectively against the Bard.
Okay, pathing for jungle, quick mention, is going to be towards that bottom lane. One doing okay here, going to go into Mega Gnar. We focus on top lane a little bit because it feels like early levels before Nakanako. Play around with Scrap Shield and Harpoon in and out of the fight, or rather the trading. Is going to be an advantage for Wonder for now. Launches in, cues the wave, pushes it out. Wants to get a little cheater recall here. He's going to go into the bush, get himself a long sword and boots. Just about.
Yeah, Fiesta, yeah, I was going to say, he's kind of going to freeze the wave though, so slow Q has to cancel his reset to make sure that he can actually try and crash this wave. So at least at the moment, Fiesta been a little annoying in the mid lane, but not too much, as both junglers going to finish their clear on this bottom side. So you start to see Mickey roaming up towards this mid lane as well, but will be spotted on the ward.
It's a bit ambitious, by the way, on top. It's only a coal. I don't know why I thought 18 CS was 650 gold, but you know, when in Rome, is Mickey. Yeah, get it pushed in. Shadow Dash, nice. By the way, Shen base damage, enough to threaten Fiesta off, so he'll get 3 tapped there with the Twilight Assault and get walked back in as the wave is actually slowly going to start pushing out towards SK.
Yeah, it's not as threatening without the Aftershock, because obviously the Aftershock damage is nice, and we've even seen some Shens going for the Hail of Blades. Going for the Guardian, much more protective, less of a threat when you go for some of these plays, so I think it will be just a case of taking a bit easy and at least getting that push in means that Fiesta only coming back to lane now with the TP, and Slow Q actually gets a chance to reset.
There's a small CS lead in mid as well, by the way. And there's a decent wave for Slow Q here. His gravity field's going to be put down. Slow Q walks it out. Mickey now.
Moramo ovo da rešimo na brzaka.
Flashy is the movement here from Lince is hovering in fog of war, but pings are going down. I think Skeens is using this time to see what he can find in enemy topside jungle or get an angle. Oh, Nuko deep in the wave. Look at this, the bounce back. Wonder's waiting to lure the prey in.
He's only got a certain amount of time though, because you've got Lince who's back out of the map soon.
Stun comes through at the tip as well. The range, Nuko caught out. He's already burned his flash. The scrap shield won't get him out. The flag and drag dodge away, but the damage is going to be way too much. He unleashes the flame spitter, but he dies, and first blood is granted to SK.
Great job by Skeens there. So doesn't actually go for the reset, manages to get the play in topside, and Wonder clipping Nuko with that slam means that he's able to set up, but it's actually going to be the turnaround play in top. 1 for 1.
TP, Hop though, gets a minion wave. The stun out from Linces, gets the flash out immediately. Wonder will survive. And the wave pushing in. If Nuko can neutralize this a little bit as well, it'll be in a very nice spot.
Yeah, Wonder going to be kicking himself a little bit there that he had to burn the flash to get away, but really wanted to get that wave crash so Nuko couldn't freeze him in this position. But now he's flashless, knows that Linces is on this top side, so he has to be extra careful about these trades that he takes, because this wave is in a terrible spot for him.
Oh yeah, so Wonder's going to walk on up. Dag just pointing out to me that Fleshy and Linces are still hovering in this area. The support movement is going to be crazy. Nuko going to thin out this wave a little bit so it doesn't overpush and bounce onto the turret, but for now, right where he wants him, no flash, remember, as well, might have to hop away, but he's burnt down to a crisp, and Nuko half the way to level 6, so if Wonder still has to deal with this annoying wave, there might be kill threat there with a summonerless Snarf.
This feels so bad for Wonder. He can't step up. Like, he doesn't know where Bard is at the moment. Fleshy's still sticking around to that top side. And if you ever go up like this, well, you can even get the Magical Journey in behind you. I think Wonder might die here.
He might indeed. Fleshy, Magical Journey, you called it. Now against the wall, no, but slowed down all the same. Look at the wave. It's still only pushing one melee minion.
Rešam, ne pite me ništa, ne pite me ništa.
Okay for now. As the next wave is pushing in, Canon going to be denied, and Wonder going to try and get it with a boomerang blade, but yeah, things still going pear-shaped here for Wonder in top.
Yeah, you can see Slow Q started to roam up, maybe thinking that he had to help out his top laner, but now Wonder has to go for the reset. It's not looking pretty after what was a good gank to get them started, but couldn't get the wave crashed, and now it comes back to bite them.
Kingston came out, Slow Q can walk back in, look for the push. All things considered, again, the only reason that Wonder has a gold lead in top is because of that earlier kill, but we've been talking a lot about it. If you didn't see the freeze at home, it was bounce back, so
Tu sam, nego samo nešto bitno iskočilo. Možete malo uđemo u kartice? U kartice? Iskreno nemam pojma. Klara spava, nemate gambu, to je fora, tako da tu morate čekati.
The Thunderdome as well. He pulls the trigger and he lands exceptionally well.
Just one last swipe as Fleshy tried to escape away from that, and Skeens able to pick up the kill. Nicely done.
Mada ne znam, mislim, ekipa SK je stvarno jako step upovala. U zadnjih nekoliko... Mislim, ovaj split ceo, ajde sad, imaju 3 meča, ali nisu loši. Jedino što nisam najsigurniji što svaki drugi, treći draft i opet daju nešto što nije carry koji ima dash. I kogod Iole prati Jopu i prati način na koji on igra, njegov stil zahteva da ima AD carry-a koji skače protivniku za vratom. I ne znam, mislim, igrao je Varusa jednom, znači ovo je drugi Varus, igrao je Zigza 2 put. U sve ukupno 6 partija, 4 partije je igrao heroja koji nema dash. Flash preko, nema flash, ali ću gubiti Phantom.
Yeah, Wonder knew he was playing with fire there. That's why he was ulting the wave. He had to get that wave crashed again.
Vidim, to postoje određene očekivanja od određenih ekipa. Za SK koji očekuješ u startu da će imati jedan win možda. Znaš, dobiti jedan win u prve 3 partije već su dosta ahead nego što su trebali da budu. Za ekipu Spajka s takvim coachem, znaš, očekujem MME-u i onda... Znaš, 2-1 je samo... još jedan četvrtak, razumeš? Ili, mislim, ponedeljak u ovom slučaju, ali... A nije, ali znaš šta je problem? Mislim, vidi, Pando. Panda, Peđa. Znači, poenta je Peđa da Wundera muči isti problem kao i mene. A to je godina proizvodnje. Nije njemu lako. Artriti skrenuo, zglobovi, sve, a on nema svog peđu. Znaš, da mu vrati to na mesto, da mu krcne leđa, da ovo, da ono. I onda, znaš, on ima dva problema. To jest ima, jeli, jedan mu je godina proizvodnje, drugi mu je nema peđu. I šta onda radi? Znaš, ti meni da rame nisi vratio na mesto, ja bi sad TFT streamovo, ne bi mogao da koristim drugu ruku za tastaturu. Znaš, Wunder nema taj luksus. Šta će da radiš? Gde si, Valter? Tako da nije lako Wunderu, mislim, mi se zezamo, ali... Znaš, stanete na njegovo mesto, nije njemu jednostavna situacija. A mislim, s druge strane, i šalo na stranu Nak-Nako je stvarno nabadač. Nak-Nako je neko ko je došao u LEC i od trenutka kad je ušao u LEC samo je pokazao da zaslužuje da bude tu. Znači, nije nikad imao nikad nije Nak-Nako imao tu situaciju kao što dosta ima ima dosta igra, tipa ajde sad, evo, Antonio, Oskar, milion igrača je bilo pogotovo na topu, koji su ušli u LEC i bili su ništa spec i onda su svi kao, pa ajde, tek mu je prvi split, naviće se ovo ono. Nako je došao, od prvog dana počeo šutira ljude u glavu, kao Jackies, kao ima igrača koji su ušli u LEC pa su samo bili jako dominanti. Tako da Nako je stvarno klasa. Znači baš je stvarno je mnogo dobar igrač. Tako da malo je miks toga, naš Wunder je realno, mislim, ja kažem to, ali ja sam vaštije, i ja sam isto vaš što se tiče igranja, i Wunder je vaš što se tiče igranja, samo što ja igram na 200 LP-a na Vestu, a Wunder igra u LEC-u, znaš, i onda je to sve sve je to relativno, protiv koga moraš igrati. Tako da, to što je on vaš, daj sudija, to što je on vaš malo više je, malo je komplikovanija situacija što toga tiče. Almost like Electro Harpoon in danger zone, does really good damage. Yeah, it's alright, you know. Like, percentage max HP in your flame spitter is pretty danger zone. They even have slow Q up here for the moment, which is why Nak-Nako hovering back a little bit. Mickey in the alcove, Skeens on the wings. Dobro, clean, mrtav. Haha, Korki. Ne znam, to sam baš pričao. Nije mi jasno, mislim, Jopa je dobar i na ostalim stvarima, ali on je igrao, znači ovo je da li, ne mogu setim tačnog rezultata. Da li je bilo 2-0, 2-1, 2-1 sa SK, mislim da je tako bilo. 2-0, 2-1, 2-1, to je 5-7, umo je u 8. game od 8 gameova, 50% njegovih partija igra heroja koje ne može da igra. Nije da ne može da igra, nego ne treba da igra. Jer igrao je 2 Zigza, igrao je 2 Varusa. I onda igrao tipa Korkija, Kajsu, Lucijana, ali tako nešto. I na svim herojima kad igrao nešto da ima skok, pravio nevjerovatne stvari. Tipa juče ili prekjuče kad igrao Korkija bio je 0-3 i solo killove protivničkog AD carry-a. Korki u MF je bio matchup i kao ok, to Korki možda radi, ali opet... Znaš, ti kad igraš Varusa, evo. Sam više Karzi neće da umre, hoće da umre. Wunder samo treba da ga juri fail ovaj double jump. Da, ali to je pa, zato što Mato ti znaš. Vidi, na šta je tu razlika, Mato? Razlika tu je što ti ćeš da pogledaš game, imaš, jeli, ljude koji će ti takođe, skrenuti neke stvari, skrenut će ti pažnju i ti što da prihvatiš. Koliko god ti voliš da troluckaš, ponekad ti nisi sujetan, ti ćeš biti u fazonu, onaj draft kad ste izgubili sa Ori, nebitno, ja sam ti skrenuo pažnju na Alistara, možda ti je Faxi skrenuo pažnju na nešto drugo i ti si odmah u sljedećem draftu prilagodio, to je bio si u fazonu, ok, ovo očigledno ne radi tako, daj da nešto ispravim, ispravio si i to radi. U LEC-u ti neka ljudi guraju jedno te istu stvar, jer ne znam. Opet kažem, ne kažem da je Ziggs loš na botu, samo mislim da imaš Jopu, brad. Jopa je trenutno u SK verovatno najbolji igrač. I ti si u fazonu, jo pa, evo ti Ziggs bacije bombice i Blej Afaka, on će biti jako dobar u bacanju bombica. On će biti najbolji bacač bombica u toj partiji, ali opet je to Jopa, on neće izneti game s tim. Neće niko izneti game s tim, što Ziggs ne nosi game. Ziggs baca bombice. Kao wave clearaš, konsistenciji, teško se dajevuješ, ima Ziggs neke svoje uglove, ali vidi, neće ti on izneti game, mislim, nije to Vayne, nije to, ne znam, Jinx of Helios, mislim, sad nisu meti, ali Lucian čak šta god. Recimo, Lucian je jako dobar za Jopu. Daj mu Lucian milija, on će non stop da se deša, non stop će se bije, znaš. Ali uvek ti je fora, znaš, ti ako nešto probaš i to nešto ne radi, a poenta je da moraš pobediti, očigledno da nešto moraš da mijenjaš, mislim. Znaš, evo, nema tu šta. Jeste, naravno, Mato, i tako i treba, znaš. Tako treba u svemu, nevezano za draft, nevezano za lolo, bilo čemu, znaš. Ako nešto radiš i to nešto ne daje rezultate, u nekom trenutku promeniš, adaptiraš, vidiš, znaš. Specifično, ajde sad za lol, za draft. Ako nešto radi za nekoga, ne znači da će da radi za tebe, jer nemaš isti igrače. Valter, u pravu si. A znaš šta je fora sa Fakerom? Mislim da Faker ima totalno drugačiju radnu etiku od Slowq je mrtav, da. Od većine ostalih igrača, znaš. Mislim sad da ne ulazim u specifične stvari određenih igrača i zašto određeni igrači propadaju, ali eto za Wundera recimo javno, on je brat, ja znam kad je kretao sa igranjem jer smo kretali u isto vreme, slično, on je malo posle mene krenuo. On ti je grindovo ko lud, igrao je svaki dan, radi ono što radi naknako. Ali onda, znaš, krene Splice, krene ovo, krene ono, krene Let's, krenu plate i onda brat moj u fazonu, realno chillam u Let'su, sad ću igram WoW. I čovek umjesto skrimuje da igra svaki dan po 10-12 sati, on upali WoW-a da se naigra. Ništa protiv WoW-a, WoW je super, ali jednostavno onda opadne skill. Šta i tu šta?
If they'd managed to get these waves in order, would have been in such a good spot to try and fight for this Rift Herald. But with that pick, now they get the plates on top. They will lose the same amount of plates on the bottom side, I believe, because Fiesta already...
Tako to u suštini ide, mislim, nije to ništa drugo. Ajde, mislim, SK, jednu stvar su nekako priznali i prihvatili, a to je da lider bio deo problema. Sad kažem lider deo problema. I to je opet i za lidera je pitanje. Jer opet je pitanje koliko je lider bio problem, a koliko je bilo problem što je lider morao da igra Orianu. Pa mislim, šta će ti lider na Orijani? Što si uzao lidera ako hoćeš Orijanu?
Taking the turret and backing away, but that's a really nice influx of gold to Fiesta. You can see he's the one member of Vitality that actually has a sizable gold lead. So maybe needing Fiesta to step up when we get towards these next couple of objectives, but we're gonna see like Nako, no TP on this top side. Wonder does, and you've got the Rift Herald for this dragon in just a couple of seconds. Vitality already setting up well in the river area. No real vision for SK in that river. It's quite defensive at the moment. So Vitality might just look to turn and burn on the dragon.
Nako has no TP. Wonder has that advantage.
Yeah, they're all moving top. SK are going to trade dragon for a dive on Nako.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Nako's going to equalizer, the cheat on the wave, but here comes a flag and drag. Cataclysm in, he flashes out. On repeat, Nako's been using that summoner spell, as this top turret will be the trade.
Yeah, this is where for SK you are playing a bit of a risky game. It's drop first two Drakes so we can try and get enough gold into our key members, but it's only 1.3k, 1.4k. It's not a huge amount to write home about. I think they will still have tools when they go towards mid, but we'll have to see.
But like at that cost, I'd still be sending a postcard, you know? Tepid Fate. Okay, Slowq, tell your parents what's happening with this one, because as he flashes away, Linces with a follow-up as well. Mandrock Dagger calls are going to find his way in. He's going to get out, I think he is! Fleshy didn't really get a Cosmic Binding, nor would it be against the wall, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Slowq gets out in the face of adversity.
Had to burn the Realm Warp to get out, but does manage to, realizing that there was no more CC left, so immediately puts down the Realm Warp. And here's that play we were talking about. SK, seeing that Vitality sent with so many members top, immediately bum rush this mid lane turret.
Bum rush it. Lovely wording, Dagda. Herald's going to get the charge in here as well. And as mid opens up, Wonder, I mean, this is just like a map masterclass right now. Call it what you want. Vitality commit hard with their semi-global from top to bot that have to swing. But right now, SK, they've taken mid, they've taken a plating in bot. Wonder's now up 1,500 gold. And things are looking really, really nice for SK outside of the Dragon stacking that we mentioned earlier.
And this is where we've been talking about SK.
Da kažem, ne znam ja. Misliš znači da se zasjete brzo i da su im ambicije niže? Mislim da je, znaš šta mislim da je fora? Mislim da je generalno fora kultura. Mislim da je generalno fora kultura u smislu gaming kultura je tamo drugačija. Mislim da oni sa strane njihove gaming kulture mnogo ozbiljnije to se shvatio. Ja se sjećam davno, pre nekih 10 godina, gledao sam neki podcast, Monte Cristo je tamo živio i komentarisao i pričao je recimo kako igrači su živjeli u gaming house-u i sad ti lupam, ne znam, imaš dnevni raspored, ti do 10 do 11 imaš kao slobodno vreme. I kaže, ako igrač dođe u 11:01, vrata su mu zatvorena, sljedeći igrač je zauzeo njegovo mesto. Tako da to je... To je fora.
It's kind of a trade on the map state, right? Vitality have good wards on this bottom side for themselves, so trying to play off the fact they have that push in the bottom lane. Whereas for SK, they're now trying to respond cross map and get some vision for themselves. Vitality at least cleared out some of the deeper ones, but still you can see SK, this 3-man unit constantly moving and shifting, and right now it's just to get that bottom tier 1 for themselves.
Bit of gold. Everyone at home, are you okay? You got popcorn, you got food, make sure you've all eaten. Dagda, I had, a bit of meat for the catering here.
You did?
Yeah, not bad. But I would love a steak dinner right now, like a proper steak, That's
I don't think we can organize it.
No, but you know what?
You're back off holidays. You actually have to lock
But that's what I missed about the LEC. Steak dinners like this. Savant plays. Slow Q just ulted into 1v2, but he's got a Shen. He's got a magical journey. It's going to be numbers advantage. Linces comes in maybe a little bit too late. Chain's corruption misses with a tempered fate. Slow Q is going to die first of all to 1-for-1 traders. Valkyrie over the wall as well. Cataclysm right in the middle as well. In the dome. Kazi will drop first. It's Wonder who's now taken on the boys. It's Linces with a rock in his fate. Not just quite. Fixed up by Schemes. Magical journey by Mickey. Fletcher gets a cosmic binding. Over the wall. Yopper gets the range. It's Equalizer down as well. And Mickey thinks, how do I shadow dash over this as well? Wonder going to go into mini Nuck. Nuck, flag and drag. Not going to reach him just quite. He's overheating. Got the damage out with the flame spitter as well. Last cone taken. Baron, Finn, which one is that?
I think it's territorial.
Don't know.
I didn't get a full chance to watch
but no one's going to be taking it because the fight is over and SK, I think they won it, Dagda.
Yeah, still though, this is where I like what SK were doing. Try and go for this quick play on the top side. I think a little surprised that Fleshy was in the area. But as Slow Q sets up, it's a good ult from Fleshy. But I want to see what Karzi was doing, because I suppose he just TP'd a little bit too close, because he full sends it to try and kill Yoppa. But that was insane. I don't think that was ever really going to work out. And especially with SK having so much heal and shield from the Shen, it was very difficult to try and get through them, and now in the bottom end.
It's Flash Shadow Dash onto Fiesta, but there's no follow-up yet. Mickey probably didn't coerce or talk to his team about that one, so he's gonna die. Shutdown, Magical Journey, and you know what? This is what I've been watching from afar. It's still happening, it's lovely.
Yoppa.
Kazi can W this time because it's only Yoppa. Stun helps out, Kazi gets the kill. 1,000 gold has been gift wrapped and sent in a nice parcel.
And also that third dragon is coming along as a complimentary gift as well, right? Because 30 seconds now on Yoppa before he's up, and Dragon's going to be up significantly faster than that. So SK are kind of hoping Schemes to make some miracle play, I imagine, to steal away the dragon, because there's so little they can actually achieve on the map right now.
Here. It was going to go down. Wonder already used Hop. There's no flash, or rather, sorry, there is for Wonder. I think Nucka was trying to get it out. It puts the team fighting potential with Mega Knight down. Dagger, I know you're focusing on this dragon. I mean, third dragon.
Well, Schemes was moving top, so I wasn't sure if they were going to try and support the play there on top side for Wonder, but yeah, 3 dragons now over to Vitality off of a mistake on the bottom end where SK overextend. Vitality going to be very happy with that one.
Yes, indeed they are. So 4-minute counter top left. Until that is going to be a must for SK to stop that ball rolling. For now, I want you all to focus on the fact that Wonder has 2 items. Strongest member of SK in this game 1. Outside of that, Yoppa, yes, still strong. Last whistle was picked up outside of the Manamune that he already has. So there's going to be a lot of poke damage here. Mickey is deep. Not so fine. He's not blowing my mind. Hey, Mickey. Chaos Storm going to be on his head. The poke's there. Kazi gets another kill. And these past couple of deaths have been mysterious to me from SK.
Yeah, Mickey getting caught in river is becoming a little bit too common. And it is, at least, apart from Baron, which I don't think Vitality can really do right now.
Yeah.
Means that they probably won't lose too much. Although Vitality are congregating on this mid wave, hoping they can get the tower. But you can see, yeah, Yoppa, this build, very effective at clearing out waves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that static shiv second proc is so nice. Timo's in solo queue.
Ja chillam. Ja chillam. Šta mi treba? Gdje mi je LOL Worlds ove godine? Ali imamo info za to? To Amerika ili šta je to?
How did you come back from holidays angrier than when you left?
Because I played 13 solo queue games yesterday. 10-3, by the way. Vi support.
Okay,
Who knew?
okay.
Who knew? I did. Temper fate. Yoppa gonna run away. Goes in front of it. Good positioning from SK to start the fight. Lince's ulti's in, but he's in no man's land right now. The Storm is down. Yoppa sends the ulti out as well, but Lince is still getting chunked down. Skeen's getting poked as well. Fiesta doing good damage in the fight. Kazi hits from behind as well. SK somehow the first to lose a member. Meanwhile, Lince is still getting the stun out as Wonder shows his head. Only midi now for the time being as Vitality look for the chase out. He flashes over the wall into Raptors. Kazi, he's gonna match it. He's a psychopath. He gets knocked up in the Cataclysm. He's alive! Who knew? Yoppa finds a hail of arrows over the wall though. Kazi eventually gonna die. Okay, Vitality, the flash roll from Nucknucko to get revenge. Wonder's gonna die in Meganar, and we have a 2 for 3.
Karzi eventually went down to that hail of arrows coming through from Yoppa, but that fight kickoff, I'm shocked that Vitality were able to survive for so long, in particular Lince's, because when you look at the top side, Mickey actually puts pressure on Karzi and does a good job with the Spirit's Refuge of buying time, but Lince's, with his own Aegis assaults, just buys so much time, and that stun from Fleshy crucial for keeping his jungler alive. And at this stage then, SK starting to fall back. Wonder tries to come in. Nako's arrived on the top side, and it's so separated thanks to that equalizer that Vitality do a decent job of trying to chase down members. But again, Karzi going that little bit too far forward, ends up dying there.
Volter moguće, da, ali mislim to je normalno skroz. To je normalno skroz.
Gets the final kill of the fight. It was a 3 for 2 in Vitality's favor. Gold slimmed down again. 1,000 is the difference between these two behemoths. 145 is what you're looking at for the Dragon. It gets ever so closer for Vitality to stamp their mark on this first game and move us to an Elder, which we know is probably going to be good for SK at this point.
Yeah, but Vitality have been doing a good job of catching SK in positions, right? Like, as SK are trying to get on towards their wave states, Vitality are making the play on mid, moving Nako into position to try and follow up, and it's SK who are getting caught out. In particular, we've seen Mickey now a couple of times getting caught, so Vitality in a significantly better spot. And when in minute 15 now, you've got third item until that Dragon Soul. Karzi, 3 items. You've got Fiesta, who's in a very comfortable position compared to slow queue. And Nako is going to have has just ticked over to the level 16, so he's in a great spot as well.
Fiesta just got it now, by the way. There it is. Third item, Shadow Flame. Okay. And Kazi, as you mentioned, Kazi's been sending it. And even in that last play, some people might be arguing words. Some people might be saying that's too far, Kazi. But that's what Kazi is. You know, rough around the edges. But when the world needed him most, he still stepped up. He wasn't like the Avatar. He did, you know,
Ma nemam pojma, to ko će ga znati.
He's been around for a while. Yeah. I mean, we all need him for entertainment anyway.
I think the other side of it for SK is just that at least their carries have some key flashes.
Sad imamo laganu kaficu uz lagani lec i ekipa SK na neku foru stvarno jako lepa. Mislim, gube 3 Drake-a što je veliki problem, ovaj Sol može biti kritičan.
And same with Fleshy in the tempered phase when you have that ability to step away, but Vitality already set up on this mid wave, want to try and push SK back, but SK established themselves in the
Pa nije upaljena kamera, tako da sam dobio u šolji, to je fora. SK pokušava da uzme prio, oni čekaju Rambla. Mislim da Nako može samo baciti TP. Da, i ovaj, mislim, on baca TP za shield, jer se oni tuku ovdje. Sad top laneri koriste teleport kao combat summoner poslije 20 minuta. Kao biješ se za zmaja, baciš por, dobiješ shield od 1000, 2000 i toliko si jači u fajtu. Mislim, nije malo, to je kao, bukvalno dobiješ free varmong. A Rumble nakon 6 radnih dana se uključuje opom u shield. Duše, Viktor je dobio 2 kila i Olu je malo velika. Prži Wundera. Jap, sad je malo dumt. Ovaj Mountain Soul je mnogo jak, jer ekipa Vitality nema konkretnog tanka. Gdje je disable? Šta? Dobro? Live chat. Pa što ja gledam sad nego live chat? Dobro, nisam znao. Mogu da ga editujem, ne mogu. To je baš u kreiranju, a? Fleshy picks up the kill. Dragon's still there. We're going to reset and maybe do it again.
Yeah, Lenses is back out of the map. Skeens needs to reset and get back there. But you see as the fight kicks off, it looks decent for SK. Wonder jumping forward with Mickey on towards Lenses.
Live chat replay je enabled. Evo, live chat uključen, live chat replay uključen. Uđi da vidiš, evo, mislim, piše mi ovdje. Piše, ne znam.
He just doesn't have the help bar to try and follow up.
Simon can give Soul, I can buy anti-shield.
Pa Volter zavisi šta ti je cilj. Mislim, ako ti je cilj da se gojiš, onda generalno gledaš svaki dan da uneseš, trenirao, ne trenirao. Jer to ti koliko gradi, toliko je država mišića.
Yeah, so just producers confirming that it was fine. We can give this the Mountain Soul. I can get through the shield, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Vitality may also get the Baron off the back of this. Wonder in the bottom.
Dobro, vidi, nije bilo beta baca quiz, to je fair.
Skeens with a Hail Mary steal seems to be the call from SK.
All right, send it. He's got GA. He's found out though. Kaz is going to go over the wall with his Valkyrie flag and drag used aggressively into the Cataclysm. Skeens trying to buy his time. Baron still.
Ali čija ti se ideja najviše svidi?
Jungler to capitalize on it. Back in, take it down. Mickey just has to hex flash away. He knows the play is done. And with it, this game is diminishing in Vitality's favor.
Instance was getting very low, but now it's just a lone support on the top end. Luckily, the magical journey was used to get into the jungle, so can't be used to get out of the jungle. But still, Vitality, full control now of this game. And a huge amount of it has come down to just catching SK in rotation, playing around these objectives well. And it's a cleaner game from Vitality than what we've seen in the past.
Oh, it definitely is. It's been getting better with age. They're like a fine wine. Except if you open the cork in week 1, it would smell like rotten egg. Dagda, while being away.
Jako čudan build od Jope. Jako čudan build od Jope. Mislim, dobar je, radi damage, samo mi je Varus takav, ono, ultimate bravery heroj da nemam reči.
We can put the cork back in and just leave it, I think. Yeah, there's been some stinky games in the LEC this split so far, hasn't there? SK had a lead, Dagda, and they kind of threw it away.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of catches, overextending on that bottom side, and that was kind of all you needed now. At least
A bio je relativno even game s tim da Vitality uzima objektive, onda se to samo tako odigra da je ekipa koja sedi na 3 Drake-a, uzme četvrtog, dobije Soul, dobije Power Spike i onda im je samo mnogo lakše da igraju. Iako u teoriji Ryze skela jako dobro, ali skela i Viktor. Meni je Viktor skela baš dobro. I plus što je dosta veliki problem za Ryze, outrange ga. Ovdje možda ako Gnar nije, naravno Wunder dobio još malo megu. Šta je ovo bilo, čole? Dobro, mislim, nije ni, koliko sa heada nije ni bitno, ali... Guys, boys, ali zašto Shen uzima Rise of Gate kad ima svoj ulti? Shen je uleteo u front i samo su ga support je, mislim, šotali su ga, level 11 je. Pogledajte levele svih na strani Vitality, a Shen nije tank nikakav.
Yeah, SK thought with 2 ultimates down on Vitality side, they could run more bin, but it's only to their death.
Flash from Slowq wanted to actualize this, but that's on cooldown. He'll flash away, or at least get on away. He walked it out. Fiesta with the range, burning him to death. Kazi Gatling guns him down. Mega Knives way too late.
Da, nema šta. Mislim, ekipa SK se držala relativno dobro. Ali kažem opet, mislim da ovdje Vitality u sljedećem G2 samo ulaze kao popriča veliki favoriti, tako da...
Kraken reigns supreme here as SK couldn't find a way to
Clean?
get the gold lead. And it's Vitality who happily pick up game number
I iskreno kažem SK, ja se nadam sljedeći game Jopi daju nešto kršteno. Vidjet ćemo, eto, moja prognoza ako Jopi daju nešto s Deša, možda imaju šanse, ovako gube sigurno. Pauzi za 10 minuta i vraćamo se sa game broj 2.
And away it got thrown. But Vitality, big dub. Finn, what Baron was that?
That was a territorial Baron. The easiest one to kill, because you can see by the appendages and the rock in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
We need you to work on your Australian accent so you can be like that guy's kid. The crocodile guy whose name I forgot. Sorry. Jake,
What?
what's the crocodile's guy name?
Crocodile
No, that
Dundee.
the other.
Okay.
Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin, thank you. You're
Oh,
terrible
yeah.
Australian, Jake.
Yeah, I should say
Thank you.
Stingray. Yeah.
Not Crocodile Dundee, not the knife guy, the crocodile guy. Anyway, sorry. We're getting off track. And we're getting off track,
How
I
do I
think,
come
because
back from this? Yeah,
this game is hard to talk about.
No,
a
but
little bit.
it was good for SK, and then they made it weird.
So look,
I don't know.
I mean, everything
had
was
a-
going good on the first day, and then they just got into politics, and suddenly they were saying some weird stuff. Whoa, some of those takes were crazy.
yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot on the first date. I totally agree. Because SK, sure, they had some really good early plays. They
Yeah.
really... They have a textbook 1-3-1 comp. So when you have a 1-3-1 comp, you want to play side lane, you put your Gnar on your side, you want to put your Rice on the side, and you want to push, and then either rotate or get some towers.
Mhm.
And they accumulated quite a nice goal lead. They did some good jobs, but then when the fight started coming, especially that 4th dragon, but like when the fight started coming, they were just not ready for it.
See, but that's the thing. You say, especially that 4th dragon, they let 3 dragons go to Vitality before they try doing something. And to me, it's kind of a mistake to let those go. Because that's an easy, activable win condition for every team. Stack dragons and win.
I think if you forget what league we're playing in, there's arguments to go against dragon stacking. I think there are. It's not the only viable strategy. I don't think it's the end of the world, right? I think you can trade gold
an
for
easy one.
dragging.
Yeah,
It's a simple one, it's a straightforward one. I think it's mandatory. I'm with you. In the LEC. But I understand why they would go away from it. The problem is the gold lead they built wasn't big enough. The side lane threats that we thought they'd have with the 1-3-1, even though they got some of those early leads, never really materialized. And Laura, you were the one who brought it up, right? The Pantheon looks so OP. And if you look at the gold difference between them, look, J4 was wildly far ahead, but the person who stopped all of these side lane plays from coming to fruition was Pantheon over and over and over again. And it just meant that SK never got that really big gold lead. And unfortunately, both compositionally and executionally, that meant when we got to team fights, as you already highlighted,
It was a bit sloppy.
It's kind of tough when you draft like an entire comp that wants to be 1-3-1, live your 80 carry mid, play on the side lanes, and it gets countered by one champion that was picked 1-2 really early as well. I will say SK kind of walked into this, but in the end we did get a nice Baron, and I want to kind of break down that fight because it was a Baron fight, and we need to bring back the rules of the Baron Pit Fight Club. Now, what was the rule number 1, Drakers?
be blue side.
Yes, pick blue side. They were not blue side, so screw that.
Okay.
Rule number 2.
0 points so far.
We don't care about the
your
rules.
Baron. This is the territorial Baron. Territorial.
Did they know that?
Territorial. Probably not, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Territorial Baron. It's the easiest one to take. Doesn't have a lot of nasty abilities, and it has an open field there. Now, what's the rule number 3? Do you turn or do you commit to the bits? Yes.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening. If
Yes.
you can roll out the clip right now.
When in doubt, yes.
Are they turning or are they committing? Are
They
they
are
rushing or
committing.
dragging?
Look at where Flesh is. Flesh is currently chasing Jarvan because the rule number 4 of Fight Club is land your smite. They don't want to give skins 50-50, so they completely respect that
Okay, wait,
rule.
can we pause right there?
Yeah, if we can pause
Yeah.
right now.
Sorry. What
There's 2
rule?
things I want to look at.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
circle? Please circle the bottom.
Yeah.
No.
No. This
The
and
bottom
that.
circle.
Yeah,
The bottom
there you
circle.
go.
The top circle.
We don't talk about that, okay? Rice walked into Rumble, it happens.
No.
What are you gonna do?
What do you mean it happened?
It happens.
Brother, this is premier European League of Legends. We're not playing. You can't just face shit and die. He didn't even click. He wasn't even moused over his character portrait at them. He didn't even hit spacebar to realign. He just walked past. He was just an NPC in that moment, going from point A to point B, getting picked up for extra XP and gold.
Enemy top is faker, you know. The team is doing Baron, he's just camping for enemy mid. Like, good job, well played to him. But like, what are you gonna do? Go next.
All right, sorry, you were saying other stuff.
happened
That was mind-boggling.
Yeah. So while Rice was getting caught down here, let's shift it up here because Vitality were super aware of Jarvan's positioning. They gave no chance for 50-50. They were focusing all their attempts on denying Skeen's access to the Baron pit. You see, it died. It didn't even combo into the pit. It died mid-combo. That's how far away from the Baron pit it was. Nice Baron setup by Vitality, and I mean, it is easy. It's a territorial Baron, the simple Baron to take. And 2 people were down on the enemy team, so it makes the plan a lot easier not to allow the steal.
They got 3 out of 4. I feel like that's a passing grade.
Yeah, they're listening to you and your presentation.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
Yeah, they were laughing at stage. That was
Yeah.
sure they were listening to me.
Something else that's good here for Vitality, and I had my share of doubts for mid lane and their replacement, but listening to Pat and the interview he gave me, they were looking for something humanoid adjacent. For better or worse, I feel like Fiesta, the first week he had was a bit rough, but also it's expected when you're a new player coming from another country in a new league thrown into the KC arena. I do feel like the Fiesta bet is paying off so far. We're seeing less ints than I thought we would.
I think Fiesta had a good game. I think they picked the victor early, made sure he had a good laning phase. I do wanted to say that I feel like SK kind of let Fiesta have a good game. They had the Rise Jarvan. They didn't try to burn his flash once in the early game. So he was just farming there, scaling up, and then he did Victor things. He did so much in those team fights. Every single team fight you saw, it's winning for Vitality because, look, there's a big Victor. They can try to kill someone, but in the end, that Chaos Storm will grow and just ensue the entire battlefield and just run over them. So good game by Fiesta, and kind of parried all the attempts by SK to attack him.
Yeah, I think when you're on the Victor, kind of quietly scaling into a game and being that relevant team fighting threat, especially when your team has been diligent on stacking dragons, is a good look. But it does kind of beg the question, like, why was everything going top the entire game, right? You highlighted it so well. The Gnar, there's some early struggles in the lane phase, but you don't need to super invest in this laning phase. Gnar will win in isolation at one item, but still, everyone's going top all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. And by the time they finally get to mid lane, as you highlighted, they fumble. They can't even get the flash. And then my man is just sitting there. Not a care in the world. Death waving or death ring or hex tech ring. I can't remember what it's been retconned into at this point. He's clearing the wave and he's scaling up. And it feels to me like as good as the idea was for this composition for SK, again, the burden of execution is too high. I wanted to believe they're a team that could play these kind of comps, but like Ooga Booga team fight is the name of the game here in the LEC. So please, let's get some Ooga Booga team fight.
And that's the advice that we gave them last time. Just make it easier for yourself. Draft something easier to execute. On the side of Vitality, though, closing thoughts. Pantheon, easy to execute. The rest of the composition as well. I was told that they chose blue side, so they're listening to you.
Rule number 1, baby.
Can they do it again? Can they replicate that again with different champions?
Game 1, fantastic look from Naknako on this Rumble. What a power pick it was for him. Just dominating the lane phase. Did get attacked a lot, as you highlighted, Dracos, but still ended up being super relevant in the team fights. Get that one shot on the Rise. He was, for me, the MVP of this game. And SK needs to answer Naknako, because he's a problem up there.
All right. SK, easier buttons to press, I guess. And Vitality, listen to Finn. Seems like it's working for now. They lead 1-0 in this best of 3. Let's see what happens next.
I Karze did walk like this, and then he like stuck on finger. I don't know. I got confused.
Oh my god, your fans are already joking. Your fans are very intimidated by Karze's power walk.
GG.
And Wonder's just going to die here. Electro Harpoon went. The next one, the hop. But there's the Pantheon. Flies through for the execution.
Nice, good job, guys. Really good. A bit of a slow start, but Fiesta, very nice call, okay? Very nice call. Insane game, Fiesta.
Wow, man.
Good Fiesta, wow.
GG. Wow, man.
Brother, let me try.
Wait.
Brother, let us break this instead. Brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express and game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
In your best man speech, you said my wife is funnier than me.
That's factually correct.
Okay.
We're in range.
It's fine, man. It's fine. Relax. I've got this. I have years and years and years of experience.
Yeah, but it's gonna last.
And there we go. Look at that. What are you so worried about?
Oh,
Heavy is the head, got the crown seat soon. Feel it weighing down on my shoulders. Cruise I'm meant to break by the proudest ones. Money on my head cause I'm lawless. Taking no relate, walking down this road. I don't relate, being the same, ain't no debate. Cause rules I'm meant to break by the proudest ones.
Didn't do recon, but they wanna lead him and guide him straight and tip him off axis. I was in a renegade beast, meanwhile they was cutting man deep like sickle or mantis. I've been with enough practice, not clout or digital captions. World's in madness, how am I gonna manifest greatness if I don't make actions? I don't need reasons, I just need money and power and stat lift. I don't wanna do it like that, like that, like that. That method's too underhanded. The big man said it ain't landing. Never gonna profit off badness. Never got a dollar off sadness, but I've been sunk so I don't do sanctions.
Heavy is the head, that the crown seat soon. Feel it weighing down on my shoulders. Rules I'm meant to break by the proudest ones. Money on my head cause I'm lawless. Taking no relate, walking down this road. I don't relate, being the same, ain't no debate. Cause rules I'm meant to break by the proudest ones.
Came in this game with a serious killing instinct, man, I never did courses. Look at all the times in the past they rejected him, now they wanna imitate patterns and forces. Stone eye vision like Gorgon. Terrified look in his eye when he finally realized all of the weapons that he brought to the war ain't forming. I've been given this heart and body and soul and mind and organs, knocked to my fingers bled. Now it's through skeleton keys and door kicks. Treading with means and caution, man, I had bellies to feed from morning. So if they start selling me dreams, I'm walking.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable, man, I was scared. Looking for solace and they wasn't there. Now I'm a problem and they wouldn't dare. Yeah, yeah. Doubling down cause this game isn't fair. They loaded the dice, I came in prepared. Feeling it so out of body, I feel like I'm floating on air. How do you cope when they never gave you hope? Really left you in a cold, and it's weighing heavy on your soul. To be honest, I don't know. Either way I had to grow, get it together.
It was 100% pure honey for game one as Vitality picked up the win. SK, a little bit questionable, but questions are always good to ask in succession. Let's see if they do that in game number two as Dagda and myself, also known as Bobby Boucher, Waterboy, is going to take us into game two.
Yeah, it was some high quality gameplay. Not quite the H2O, but still. I think there was... Vitality definitely came alive in the mid game. I think you could kind of see from the draft they were a little bit nervous about what SK wanted to achieve in the early stages by like going for the Pantheon and these early game picks, but SK still were able to get that early lead. But it was the mistakes, like Mickey getting caught twice in River and also in that bottom side. Like it ended up giving enough tools to Vitality, enough map control, plus the dragon stacking. It really sealed the deal. So I think for SK, like they can easily come back into this. Like this was a very close game. It's just a case of if they can clean up that mid game.
Well, questions to be answered again. As I said, Poppy going to be first to be taken off. Remember things like that Olaf still up and available with other top laners like the Renegade here. Both top laners have a plethora of champions to pick and choose from. Cassio's not going to be one of them though, at least for bot/mid. As it's taken away from Kazi and Fiesta. And, you know, so far, both those guys have played it. One of Kazi's most played of the split. I think he's been pretty comfortable on it. And SK want to make sure they don't give it to him with the Jace going with it.
Jace gone, Bygone, which was the one that we were kind of talking about being left open in the last game, but Vitality not too happy to let that one through this time. I think that's fair. Nocturne Orianna still up and available though, so I'm curious if that one part of that equation is the next to go, because you've seen a lot of teams happy to let the Orianna through, having like Galio and Akali as an answer.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, Orianna
I
has been
ajmo da vidimo draft kima broj 2.
through these drafts as Nautilus gone. Maybe we're going to get
Syndra, so Nocturne is up and available.
Da vidimo glavno nagradno pitanje da li Opa dobija nešto kršteno ili će mu dati Zigza. Koji namjerno nije banovan, zašto bi banovan? Kad realno možda ga ostaviš u nadi da će slučajno i Opi da daju.
You're still fine to try and play into like a side lane with an Akali if you end up with the answer for it. The Lee Sin feels a little early in the draft for me, like especially since like you do have options here. I mean, you don't even have to go for the Nocturne if you don't want to here. Skeens could go for the Skarner, which we've seen as the traditional answer into it, but I still think Nocturne Orianna at the end of the world. Only worry is like obviously the Akali and the Galio, so we'll have to see if that's the plan.
so many options here for SK. But I also feel like last draft SK got a
Sad će oni da first pickaju Zigza. Gledaj sad ovo. First pickaju Zigza, Hlar radi ovaj game. Dobro, dobro. Sad uzmeš Orianu. Ne. Ili oni će da uzmu Orianu. Ne, Dagda, molim te. Dagda, molim te, no. Si ruku na srce Dagda, ja mislim da je piku u Emeraldu, tako da brat malo, ono, ne... I sad Vitality ide na Akali. Mislim, mogu Ari ako im se igra Ari, ali mislim da je Akali prvi, Galio drugi piku ovde. Mislim, u smislu kao prioriteta. Akali Lok i sad, ja bi uzeo Leonu, ali... Da, uzeo bi Leonu ovdje. To nije Leona, to je Malphite. Uzeo bi Leonu.
Still an option, the Rel still an option. Camille, but I think Camille doesn't really fit the Vitality draft right now, so this would be interesting. I was gonna say if they...
Ne, ovo je Renekton instalog s druge strane. Tako je. Atrox, okej, šta god. Mislim, ne smiju da uzmu Milija, to jest ne smiju da uzmu Lucijan jer će Milija biti banovan. Ezreal za Jopu ako hoće da budu safe.
I think it's just kind of a call out to Wonder, even if you go for the Renekton, it's still a skill matchup, and Nako has been getting the better of Wonder in those regards. Unless you want to try and go for something a little bit fun.
Ne znam u Atroxa koji je matchup, kažem, ne igram top, tako da tu nisam baš Okej, ovo je fajn. Mislim, kažem, Jopi moraju da daju nešto što ima taj killer instinct. Kapirate.
Has to be the question here for SK as they go through draft. Probably to ban out more 80 carries.
Yeah, if I'm Vitality, I'm probably looking at like a Leona ban or something along these lines, just to try and be like, hey, look, you don't have this ease of setup from the support role, especially with the Nautilus already taken away.
And especially again when those pairings are so important, I do want to reiterate that you mentioned the Akali can be flexed here in this draft, and that's why you're talking a little bit more about support.
Mogu da banuju Eza ako hoće. Da bi naterali Karzija da igra tipa Jhin, ali tako nešto, Orianu Nocturne. Mislim da je Ezreal dobar ban, iskreno. Mada mislim da s druge strane Vitality možda uzme i Mage-a nekog. Tipa Vitality možda igra Zigza.
Because I think they're the ones that are like, oh, we kind of want this lockdown, we want something that can work in the dive. So Leona fits in there. The Nico I like as well, as she kind of facilitates that dive. Alistair also in that equation, but he's been used more so as a counter pick. So maybe the Rel next to follow as well, like Rel, Leona, that kind of style. It depends on what you're most worried about here for Vitality.
Zaya gone. You know, they're saying that Akali's definitely going mid. I mean, Fiesta has been like a silent LeBlanc player, so yeah. You're right. So they're saying that the pairing is so good for the matchup, there's no way you're going to take this bot.
Yeah, I think it should be the Akali mid. Basically what SK are saying is, hey, we don't want things that can actually be easily able to escape away from our dive, which is where I'm kind of surprised, Lucian. I probably would have banned away the Ezreal, but it's still in the same line of, hey, you've got dash and can be a little
Da
bit
preživi.
so I imagine Vitality.
Što god može da preživi i Orianu Nocta uklanjaš. Ovo ne znam. Ne, ovo mi se ne sviđa. Ja bi rađe Wunderu dao Gragas, ali tako nešto. TF je flip i samo tako. Mislim, na Wunderu, kažem opet, da je Broken Blade okej. Da je Gotarinin okej.
I don't think you have the setup for Ziggs, just because traditionally I like Ziggs with like the Nautilus or something that can lock people in place.
You don't think that Leona pairing would be nice?
I don't think it's enough. I think you want a little bit more, so yeah, just looking for a bit of peel there for the backline. I think Ezreal still could work here. I'm trying to think if there's a May...
Alistar je giga dobar pik. Alistar smo zaključili da je jedan od najboljih pikova u trenutnoj meti. MF nije toliko dobra. Ovo je, ja mislim da ovo je za Karzija. Ja sam znao će ga nabiti na Gina, napomenuo sam kad su banovali, ali ovo je bio Ezreal ili Sivir za Karzija. I sad SK treba front, support, nemaš ništa kršteno u ovom matchupu, ja mislim. Volio bi da ljudi igraju Čogata supporta, na primjer. Čogat je jako dobar u Alistara. Alistar obično ulta kad primi damage, onda Čogat ult retko bude, to jest često bude dovoljan da da samo execute Alistara.
I mean, it feels to me like SK are kind of doubling down on what worked for them in the last couple of games, which is heavy map presence, the ability to move around very quickly, overload parts of the map, and try and catch people out in transition, or when they're in the setup. And this to me screams that, right? TF, Nocturne, even the Kaisa to try and follow up on that gives you a ton of ability to attack people in the lanes before you get to objectives. Whereas on Vitality's side, definitely trying to play through this like, hey, we want to get ahead in the early game, probably through some of these skirmishes, get some gold into this Akali and the Aatrox, and hope they can be very threatening in these fights.
It's a very Vitality comp though, isn't it, in that regard, isn't it? They kind of got to send it in these skirmishes and like hope that the solo lanes come out pretty unscathed. How do they survive the range matchups? Through top, through mid. It's up to SK to show us that they can convert that early game gold lead and make magic happen to stop the skirmishing of Vitality that they want to play. Going into this game number 2, it was SK that held the reins at the start of the series, but Vitality took them away. They fell off the horse, and they weren't able to get back up. But now there's new horses for game number 2. Now it is SK's chance to take us the distance. I came into today, Dagger, and I said, this is a 3-gamer, surely. Let's see if I'm going to be proved right or not.
I mean, easily could be. Again, SK, they had a strong early game. They got a nice gold lead. It was in lieu of giving up some of those dragons. And the dragons came back to bite them.
Ajde vidim. Skarner support, mislim, baš sam prolazio kroz neke shortove s Klarom, pa mi je došao onaj short s onim godlike Skarnerom koja seća na streamu, onaj brat što je kidao, doduše build je Litality, ne znam koliko će Miki ići na to, mislim da je Eclipse rushao, tako nešto. Bio je baš nehumano, ili Umbral rushao. Ne mogu se setim. A baš je bio dobar.
I haven't seen the interaction, but I'm imagining basically that Skarner can use that Ixtal charge, the E, to basically interrupt Fleshy if he ever tries to go for this headbutt, which may make things a little bit more difficult for Fleshy on the Alistar. We'll have to see if that's how this one ends up panning out.
Level 1, not really a champion is he, as we look towards mid. Slow Q using that range advantage. He has got some cute 5-point strikes, as you see there, but as he tries to get out of range, get that auto down, command attack and then dissonance. We'll quickly make short.
Boga mi, 5K, 4SK, ozbiljna priča, ozbiljna priča. Voli Klara da skemuje, to je istina, to je istina. Pa da je realno napravila broken sistem, tako da ima i toga. Ne mogu zamislim da gledam Wundera koji igra TF-a u Aatroxa i u fazonu sam, mislim, ok, on će svakako moći da ga bulije, da ga biju za Aatroxu, je teško da igra taj matchup, ali u jednom trenutku kada Aatrox dobije ugao gde može da ubija TF-a, on će ga farmovati ovaj game. Kao, legitimno će ga farmovati.
Skeen's going for the invade on the top side though. There was a ward at his Raptors that just died as he came across, so not sure if Vitality are fully aware that this might be happening, but Linces will spot it out momentarily.
This is going to take down Wolves. Now moves into position. Sees blue buff being taken. Okay, he's probably going to be calling Nucko, get here. He's got a low health bar though. Looking for the chains. No fear. Sonic Wave stolen. Linces gets his own buff. Steals it back rather. The Skeens puts the thumbs up, but Linces is the winner.
Yeah, very hard to try and steal away that camp from Elise in, especially with the execute damage. So Linces going to be happy enough. It means that Skeens has to go back into his own jungle, now move to his bottom side. He's going to be very slow in the clear, whereas Linces has a little bit of time to get this top camp and maybe exert some pressure on the top end just to make sure that Wunder can't be too comfortable in this matchup.
It's a nice win. Skeens moving down. He's going to go for bottom scuttle. Going to be traded off. Linces though with a mighty lead here. When we talk about the lanes being, you know, for SK, quite favorable here, Dagda, in the portion. Linces with a lead and the ability to get pressure down and probably deep vision on his base here. Means that these solo lanes might not be as cozy as they wish. Sonic Wave.
Ne Tazali, ne znam da bi ga ubio ovdje uopšte, mislim ne bi. Ma jak, cancel bi mu recall, ne bi letao unutra. Baš me zanima šta će Miki da builda.
Nice start here for Linces, basically off this, stealing his own camp away, and now this quick invade.
He puts thumbs up. He wants everyone at home to know that he's okay. And he's probably the least egregious emote spammer we have in the league. Especially when we got Isma yesterday.
Ok, Wunder Ghost. Red karta. Dobro, pogrešna karta. Mislim da je gold verovatno bila ideja, nema veze. Sve se to dogodi.
Spells immediately, but now the collapse on Skeens.
On the Skeens in trouble. Linces looking for the first kill of the game, but Fiesta will take it instead. The blood over to the mid lane of Vitality.
Massive wins for Vitality in the early stage. An early kill for this Akali is perfect. Pre-level 6, going to be able to get such a big advantage, especially with the threat on towards slow Q, and it was only Linces who burnt his flash in that engage.
It's great, a big win. Vitality coming off the board, real nice here. And Fiesta gets a kill right before he hits level 6 as well. That happens now as we look at the replay here. And Skeens went in deep while Linces, oh my god, the timing there on the Q.
Yeah, basically seeing Skeens on the ward and then timing it in the darkness to pick it up. Fiesta roams over, and Vitality playing very well around Skeens, not being able to steal away that camp.
My boy.
My boy. Linces, you're right. It was a control ward near mid-wave on the side brush that would have seen him going in, and it must have either been the tip of his tail that was still in vision, or he then went dark. Nocturne joke, good one. And Skeens was found out by the Sonic Wave. I mean, that timing regardless from Linces. Fantastic. Puts him in pursuit of a 14 CS lead in that jungle and a 500 gold lead.
Yeah, Linces has done a really good job of reading what Skeens wanted to do. Stole away the Raptor respawn on Skeens' side, and then immediately moved back over to cover his own Raptors, knowing that Skeens is basically going to try and go for this invade, thinking will have reset, because Linces had only gone for that singular reset for the longsword. So, playing really well, and now Mickey in no man's land.
Fleshy looking for the engage. Istal's impact instead. Mickey's just going to get on out. I think Fleshy wanted to pulverize him, headbutt him over the wall to his jungler, but won't be successful. Meanwhile, we go back towards top lane. Wonder going to trade Nucko on the return path, but the health bar is not what you'd expect in this range versus Aatrox matchup.
Lepo igra, mislim, očekivano lepo igra Nucko. Kažem, prvih nekoliko levela ti je problem, nakon toga je sve lagano.
The immediate E from the scanner, you're able to completely disengage, and then as the game starts to go on, you'll also have that Scorpion Sting to really lock people down. Skeens spotting out Fiesta.
Fiesta knows he's so sus on this. He sees it now. Wait for the shuriken flip. Unspeakable horror, not there. Fiesta gets out of the range. Here comes Mickey to run into a wall, but not going to find that either. Jumps on in, into the shroud. The shockwave finds him. Destiny used as well. Fiesta ulti's out, flashes out. Will Destiny find its mark? No. The range too far for Wonder. He's just ultied onto a TP, which is Fleshy. Mickey dives to get the kill and lives, but Slowq's now deep. Mickey ends up burning down. SK went so far for one man, and they will lose this game 2 off of it.
That was so deep for SK. There was zero reason to try and go all out. But they end up losing 3 people off the back of that play. A wave in the top lane, plates to Nako. It's a disaster.
Now, obviously, games can change. Nothing's safe in our
Ja mislim da ovo Doom već.
But that was hilarious.
Because at the start here, I was like, oh, okay, Fiesta trying to step out, still has flash, but then ends up going in, which I was kind of surprised at. And they get the shockwave.
Imao je delay na ultu 2 da ne može da izleti šokova dovoljno brzo.
Slow Q flashing, Mickey then wanting to commit to this to try and get the kill, but he always was going to go down to Fiesta off the back of this with the amount of ramp up damage. But now it's Mickey who's dead, Slow Q's dead, Carzy though.
Fiesta. I onda mi Carzy igra imobilno gadi carry-a, tako da.
Here you go. I mean, there's this whole bag of money given the charity there as Yoppa finally gets one on the board. But yeah, that play a little bit too deep. I'm proud of Mickey though.
It's a big old number right here.
Yeah, starting to build the Olympics there.
Yeah.
1.3k for Linces. It's a bigger number, isn't it? And it really did start with that invade. That Linces 50-50 won the smite. I mean, with Lee Sin December 50-50 is it? Sonic Wave is an execute, or rather resonating strike portion is. And for winning the back of that, it's really been all Linces all the time on this Lee Sin as he moves up towards Grubs.
So Carzy going to stick down. Actually, Carzy's shifted up as well, so I think SK, although they've got the movement to shift their bot lane up to the top side, they're not really in a position to try and contest this.
Shockwave, Paranoia going to be used onto the mid wave. Fiesta ulties out, but Shuriken flip once again onto Slow Q, wants to run back in, but he won't. Instead, he presses the R button once again, and Skeens is looking to press that Q to give him movement speed, but he will not. Grubs go down, information gathered, and now Duskbringer to see if Raptors are there, which they too are not.
They haven't been able to find any success off the back of this ultimate though, which is going to make the map significantly safer for Vitality, especially for Carzy if he's trying to contest on this mid wave. So for Vitality, they're very pleased. Pick up the early grubs and now keep yourself safe on the map.
Meanwhile, we look towards mid. Slow Q, he's going to be Doven, and he's dead. Yes to Linces. Fleshy tanks it up for 3 shots, and it's as easy as that. Vitality are ahead, and they're starting to steamroll the map. Skeens puts his thumbs in the air. He's got Wonder nearby, but Linces is going to jump on in with a 2-level lead between junglers. Linces just darts out. No horror for him. It doesn't matter. He'll always dodge the tether.
Mislim da je SK Giga Doom. Mislim, eventualno kažem Yoppa možda nešto može da uradi. Kajsa je postala baš jako od promjene Terminusa. Kao Terminus je sad legitimno mnogo jak item. Tako da mislim da neki Kraken, Rageblade, nešto Kajsa možda bude baš dobra priča.
Say there about a couple of people in Vitality right now. It's funny, Carzy's just a passenger, but he's enjoying the ride. And his Fleshy's moving around as supports always do. 1.7k gold lead. Dragon not up for a little bit, but it is Vitality who are first on the board in that objective once again. And it's been a series dagger. I don't think SK have gotten a dragon, have they? So,
no.
See if that changes here. With 6 coming up next. Wonder, gold card. Doesn't mean too much. It's Merc Treads here for Nako early.
It's his beeline on top here, though. I think he just wants to cover for a play.
Maybe kill. He smells blood. He's a shark right now. There goes. Kick against the wall. Bully him. And with an demonic embrace.
Ne, legitimno coaching staff trolla. SK. Urade jednu dobru stvar, 2 loše. Zamisli Wunderti 0-2 na topu Naka. Zamisli bit će mu neigrivo. Mislim, okej, Nocturne ja ne bilo super. Čak i Skarner Kajsa donekle. Ali zašto Wunder igra TF-a na topu? Zašto Wunder igra TF-a na topu? Meni apsolutno nije jasno.
Now getting all 3 members top side of this map doing well. On to Fiesta. Can they do it? 3rd time's the charm. He tries to shuriken flip out. He gets exhausted, running away. There it is again. Perfect execution out. Mickey wants to soar over the wall, but Fiesta is the grand illusionist. He keeps getting away, Dagda.
And his flash is already going to be up in a second as well. Lince is now moving across. Might actually spot Mickey here.
Hello, Mickey. Yeah, you go through a wall. Go embrace the rock. He's out. Lince is going to queue again. Wait. Blind queue. Ready? I get it, Lisa. I'm 2 for 2 today on jokes.
Yeah, I think Lince is going to be more happy to start moving back up towards this top side, start to clear his camps, because like 30 seconds now until Dragon. Lince is huge. I think they can just go towards it, but watch this, like Linces flashes immediately. Wonder goes thinking he might have a bit of time, but the kick into the wall sets up for everything. Linces not bothering to follow up, just knowing he needs to tank the tower for his teammate. And Skeens here, you called it in the fight. Way too late on the spell shield, but Fleshy?
Yeah, he's been dragged back by Mickey. Nice impale. And Wonder gets a kill. Very much needed for this Twisted Fate if he wants to start moving around the map. We didn't get the context there, but I think Fleshy wanted a kill.
I mean, Mickey's flash is down, so I wonder if they... And you've also got the Unbreakable Will down on Fleshy, so I imagine it was they tried to go for a dive. Mickey flashed in to position...
Ne, kažem, mislim da, ja, mislim, ne znam. Kapiram da je nezgodno kad su ti igrači na ono, da nisu baš najbolji, onda moraš neko da probaš, da nađeš način da draftuješ nešto što je iole kršteno, a istovremeno njima odgovara da igraju. Mislim, možda je Wunder rekao daj mi TF u ovom matchupu, to mi se igra, šta god. Ja opet kažem, ne vidim. TF u Atoxa mislim da je stvarno jako težak matchup. Nako je Rashovo Edge of Night, brat moj vadi tehnike, znači, ono, zabranjen jitsu vadi. Čovjek je Rashovo Edge of Night na Atoxu. Ali ima smisla, ako te TF nikad ne pogodi s Q-om, ti ga olinaš i blokiraš mu kartu. Sad opet, TF može uvek da čuva Q, ne sme baci nijedan spell Wunder u suštini. Jer čim Wunder baci prvi spell, nakon ga olina. Ako baci Q prazno, nakon ga samo olina. Ovako, viš. To je ideja. Mislim, lep counterplay Mikija da ubiju Alistara svako, ali...
As you can see, he's more than comfortable doing it himself. 1.2k, 2 kills, a turret for himself. He's a happy lad.
Yoppa is going to experience it now as well. Smite down, deadly flourish catches him down, and here comes Linces looking for the kick, finds on a nocturne instead. Sonic Wave into resonating strike, Skeens under the turret, that saves his life. Bakazi flashes fourth shot. He can only count to 4. As Yoppa runs for his life, he will survive, but burns everything to do so, while Vitality are on a steamroll. Wonder found out what is he doing here. He thinks a gold card will save him, but not against 3. Dunked down. Nako takes 3.
Nako ima house free game, iskreno, house free game.
Slow Q nearly died on the bottom side as well. Fiesta using that perfect execution to look for plays. Yoppa found sidestep, all of it going to be okay. But still, Vitality putting the pressure everywhere on the map.
Mickey now moves into position. W again. Fleshy gets the knockout with the pulverized trample, going to follow suit as well. Linces comes in, Sonic Wave looking for it, going to get the resonating strike. Impale dodged, and Unbreakable Will to stop the channel. So Impale's down, but so is Fleshy's Unbreakable Will.
Vitality still get to keep the pressure up though. They got the turret place. Nerdy stopped Mickey. Well, they do stop him, but Nerdy getting a little bit more damage onto him. And Vitality looking for the resets now. 30 seconds until Rift Herald. That's going to be the next point of contact. But you can see here, like Yoppa trying to run away. Skeens tries to protect him, but it's the kick away into the immediate pulverize that actually sets up for the kill here with the fourth shot coming through from Karzi. And then it's the chase down afterwards. Like, the collapse from Vitality is so well orchestrated. Yeah. They already know they got the push in top, so Nako happy to come down.
And it's comps like this for Vitality that I think they're the best on. When the comps that can snowball and just play psychotic League of Legends. You want to kill, you want to play, you want to fight, yes. To all of that. That's what Vitality want to do, and with a 4,000 gold lead, we're seeing it. Linces Sonic Wave in. Dragon's not even up, by the way. They're just covering their bases so that Nako and Kazi can push in mid-wave. Bot is going to be free for Fiesta. And meanwhile, this jungler is like, you know what? I'm going to go and spend some time in the jungle, like dip my feet in the pool and just see what's up.
He's going to be taking a little trip to Rift Herald, seems like. He's still got pressure on the bottom side. So Fleshy basically covering Fiesta so that he could get the push on bot lane, trying to set up with the turret. And now you've got Karzi who's just able to help out. So SK basically using this time to try and get some deep vision in behind the Akali, but there is it's been shown time and again that ganking Fiesta is incredibly difficult to do.
He's died once, been ganked 4 times. Paranoia, Shockwave, finally the combo. Miss from Yoppa, but he still gets a Q down. Skeens will take the kill, unfortunately. Yoppa really wanted that, probably deserved it as well, as Skeens getting himself on the board. And the invade begins with SK holding prior and bot.
That's the easier target. If the Jhin is mid, much simpler, especially when he doesn't have that flash open available. So
Mislim da ovo samo 2-0 serija. Linkas. Gledao sam da će biti kick flash, ali čeka da baci kick Q, da, Klink. Mislim, dobro, kill za kill, fajn je. Udari Nocturna, Ward, Hop. Dobar. Mislim da je mrtav svejedno. W? On je živ. On nije živ. Ne, nije živ. Nije mu se okrenuo Thunder Sky. Lepo flash je. Jako lepo i slow zona. Čeka Alistar da mu potvrdi. Bravo, clean. Jako lepo određeno. Dobro, mislim, kažem opet, sad ekipa SK je bolja ekipa koja ima lead, tako da po svemu sudeći ekipa Vitalitija bi trebala da bude više nego lagana.
Sonic wave in, so basically you have to wait for Linces for that to come back up, uses the smite to get the slowdown, and I thought, like, traditionally, it's easier to go for the kick into the Q, so that then, like, your target's in a straight line, but Linces actually immediately goes for the Q, then the kick, so that then there's no one who can dodge it, uses the safeguard here to dodge the boulder, but it means that there's no safeguard away. Could have maybe tried for the Rift House to escape, but you're giving a kill to the support, I don't think it's the end of the world.
It's definitely not. Mickey's picked up 2 of them. His protoplasm harness is the only real benefit of the gold lead he's had so far. Granted, it is something, but in the state of this game, when it's almost 5,000 gold lead and Vitality's carries are just kind of playing with you right now, goes to show you, I don't think they really care about a Scorpion who's tanky. Is 15 seconds till the Dragon. You know what? This is SK's line in the sand, I feel like, before this game gets even more out of control.
Yeah, everyone apart from Fiesta has just finished 2 items on Vitality. And again, SK, they're just not quite there. So the leverage as they start to just boss their way into River, and SK kind of just have to cower back. There's very little that they can do here.
Ward on it to spot out, but that's not going to do much either. And this Dragon will make number 3. SK Dragonless in the series. That will continue.
Yeah, and the silverest of linings for SK is that it is an Ocean Dragon. I think against their comp, which is very burst heavy, you're not really going to get a huge amount of value from SK. But I think that is the thinnest of margins.
Oh, yes.
Everything else in this game is like Vitality are popping the hell off, and they are looking like they might just close this series out 2-0.
Maybe all into slow Q.
Dobro. Da, probaj. Kali beži u shroud, mrtva svejedno. Shelly radi u Linkas. Dobro, probo. Alkalzi ima kill. Ma da, ovaj sad samo stomp bolje ekipe. Tu nema šta. Tu nema šta, ovaj samo... Samo je stomp bolje ekipe.
That was a good trade. I mean, Fiesta does do a lot of damage, and Slow Q did a nice flash shockwave, but there's so much to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, we get this dive from Fiesta, and I think nice job from Slow Q at least to get the flash shockwave here, so then you can have the follow-up return from Skeens. But it's just so much damage from Linces right now, especially when he's got Karzi to support him here as well. They managed to get the kill. The top gank ends up becoming absolutely nothing. And yeah, he just ends up standing in front of his
Skeens wrong position, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Karzi. I mean, his deadly flourish connected, and that was enough, even though the kick wasn't
Wunder.
Wonder. He's used Destiny, wants to get out.
Da, ali Wunder, ne radi ti heroj tako šta radiš. A mislim da Wunder, mislim nije da grifa, ali ovo je samo don't. Ok, Ghost. Mislim, najgori slučaj nakon ga ne ubija i ne dobija kill. I sad Q flash i to je to, Wunder bukvalno grifa. Brat moj je upravo bacio TF ulti Aatroxu na oči. Aatrox ga gleda i ne zna s kojim dugmetom pre da ga prekine.
SK are in the ground all but Slow Q, and I have to say this game is one of the biggest stomps that we've seen this split.
This is confident from Vitality. Like their early game into mid game has been absurd. Constant pressure. Linces has been everywhere, working with Fleshy to constantly keep pressure up, and SK just haven't had a breather. There has been not a moment for them to catch their breath. They just killed bot lane in a 1v1.
Sljedeći je Navi G2. Sljedeći će isto biti napadanje. Mislim, kažem opet, mislim da ekipa G2 tu realno ulazi kao favorit protiv Navija, ali mislim da ni Navi nije nužno za bacanje. Mada opet kažem, očekujemo G2 da bi trebali da budu bolji.
Fiesta looks like he's having a great time. I mean, to be fair, coming into this team, you know, with a name like Humanoid out of the roster, a lot of people are like, oh my god, I can't believe like we're going to Fiesta now. But he's been getting better with age too. He is the fine wine. even started the start of the split. I think, you know, his lock performance is decent enough, considering the whole world looks crap on that champion.
Unless you're Jackies.
Unless you're Jackies, apparently. But Dagda, there have been some games where I've been really, really impressed with him. This is another one here on the Akali. Shout out to production. They said the win rate wasn't too good historically. Is the dive into the Jhin. It hasn't worked out for Skin. He's going to flash away. Fleshy is angry that the Shadow Monster is escaping. Sonic Wave was close to landing. Skin's going to get out of there thanks to the Dustbringer. But Baron is up, and now the problem is you don't have that ulti there. Fiesta getting chased. Mickey doesn't find the target. Going to slow him down, looking for the Impale. He's going to be second skinned in the second. No, Impale will not reach. Nice proto belt there as Fleshy gets in the way, and Baron now starts.
Yeah, I like Fleshy coming along for moral support.
Generalno ovo ne preporučujem da se flipa ovako Baron, ali mislim da je Vitality dovoljno ok da mogu raditi što hoće. Tako da mislim da su u teoriji ok svejedno. Ovo je pivo Klara voli. Pa znam koje je omiljeno pivo, ali mislim da nije pointed da to kažem.
Baron's dead. Mickey knocked up, and Yopper alongside him. That's a Sonic Wave and a dead Scorpion jumping in. Fiesta again. No way Yopper gets a flash on out. He's dead before his feet land on the ground. A double kill, and Wonder to boot will make 3 as Vitality look to charge in and set the fastest game of summer 2026.
Lenses is just chasing slow Q back to the base. Wonder is trying desperately to run away, but one goal.
Mislim, radi on damage na TF-u, nije da ne radi. TF tuče, radi damage, ali džabe. A mislim, iskreno da budem, SK je samo zagrifovao draft. Mislim, komentarisat ću draft i sljedeći put, u sljedećoj seriji. Mada Navi i G2 će vratno draftovati mnogo linearnije, to je jedno, drugo što je ekipa G2-a u suštini da izvuče Nasusa u džungli, iako to nikom ne bi rekao i dalje mislim da mogu to da izvuku kako treba, tako da SK stvarno ovdje kažem, greške u Akali. Nema, coaching staff im je baš podbacio, lepo je Jopa rekao, coacheve treba banovati, ali eto, brza prva serija, brz game, svakako. Mala pauzica, odmah idemo u drugu seriju. Pauza bi trebala bude nekih 12-13 minuta. Stavit ćemo 14, nek bude pauza i vraćamo se sa drugom serijom i da. Kažem, gledamo G2 Navi, bit će banger, dve dosta jače ekipe, tako da vidjet ćemo kako će to se završi. Tu smo nakon pauze.
Game 1 looked like there was an angle in the series. Game 2 did not at any point. The solo lane picks didn't ever get off the ground. Even level 1, Fiesta was actually trading pretty even, you know, with slow Q.
Yeah, once he got the kill, it was done for.
But I mean, I think this whole series, Fiesta actually bodied slow Q overall. You can also vote for your key player of the series, by the way. Lenses, Fiesta, or Fleshy. Oh, Kazi doesn't.
Yeah, Kazi, you gotta go to the desk. Get over there.
It's not that hard, mate.
Imagine having to talk to us.
I know. Yeah. A lot of work for him. I mean, he did spend the last 50 minutes in League of Legends.
Linces. Mugging us, eh?
Yeah, Linces has got the looks, and Kazi has the hair. I hope it's clean.
Yay, we're here with Kazi. He won. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing good, doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah. I mean, second game was quite nice to play. I just didn't have to do much playing Jhin. The classic AD carry experience playing Jhin.
Yeah, just sit back and relax.
Is this the first time you played against Skarner support?
In competitive, for sure. I played against Skarner support maybe like 3 times.
Yeah. Were you aware of what it was trying to do? Were you aware of what it was trying to do? Like pick you up and like...
Yeah, I mean,
he knows the champion, I guess.
Yeah, I was scared that like whenever I go for auto under turret that he's gonna just flash E, you know, grab me and bring me under turret. But on bot lane when they caught me 2v1, I miscalculated the Skarner E a bit.
I mean, it's not a champion that we often see. Did you expect them to pick this champion?
No, I think it's kinda useless champ, so
yeah?
I mean,
not even situational, just useless.
I mean, I think you can match the fast supports, but I don't think it's as good as what Camel does, for example. I think you can match Camel with it probably because it's strong early and can, like, with Hail of Blades you can match it, but with Alistar it's just really good into Skarner later on.
Fair enough.
It's really hard for him to play.
Bin, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think the logic was that you can like Skarner E when Alistar combos and like picking him up like a baseball or something, and then he's driving into the corner.
Like
but doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess it's like a peeling champion. I didn't really see the angle. We'll see if he brings it back. I want to talk about something with you, Karzi.
Yes?
I want to talk about barons.
We want to quiz you.
I'm going to quiz you, because
We
I
wanna
made some
see if
drawings
you're-
here.
Yeah, because you're good at the game, but are you good at knowing the game?
So you know there are 3 different
no
dragons,
knowledge.
right?
No knowledge,
There
okay.
are 3 different barons, right?
Yeah.
You know this?
Hunter Baron.
And
Okay, no, wait. Name all of them.
Hunter, and that's all I know because that one is the most OP one.
Okay,
the
fair
next one is like NPC, you know?
Okay.
do you wanna-
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys.
Okay.
I've made these drawings, so give me a little break here. Do you know what this baron does?
Yeah, show it to the camera as well.
This is it.
Yeah. That one. There you go.
Bro, this drawing looks a bit sus.
I gotta say, the drawing looks sus.
It's a perfect drawing.
It looks a bit weird.
Yeah. But do you know what brand this is?
It looks like Omega, you know?
Omega? What do you mean Omega?
Like the symbol
letter.
Omega.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, this is this is the territorial baron. It's the easiest baron to kill because it has the least abilities and it has a very open field. So now you know if you ever see this baron, you can just call baron whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
The territorial baron.
Okay.
Now let's go to the next one. Do you know what this one does?
This one is bigger than the previous one. But I feel like all
Look at the rift. Look at the hints.
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like?
You gotta look at the layout.
Yeah.
Like.
It's pretty open, but not on all.
I mean,
on the
once you
sides,
go
so
in, it's
like-
harder to get out.
Okay. So how do you play around this?
So like it locks it in, you know? It's the hunter one, no?
This is the hunter baron.
There
He
you
knows his
go.
barons. Karzi has done his studies.
How do you play around the hunter baron? Like, if you
Usually,
wanna-
it's very difficult because it requires you to dodge some of the skill shots, even though I'm not even
And
sure
you're
if
not
it's
good at
possible.
that.
Well, he's already wrong because Hunter Baron has a pulsating AoE damage. It's actually not a skill
Yeah?
shot. Yeah, the Hunter Baron ability
Ooh.
just does 20% of your max HP and magic damage over
Nice.
time as an
Balanced.
AoE. Now,
Balanced.
let's look at the third one here, Karzi. What do you think about this Baron? What does
This
it say
one-
to you?
I don't know. This one is like pulling, no? This one pulls you.
All the Barons can pull you.
Really?
Yeah, but this is the all-seeing Baron. This one is very important for you because he has a long-range Void Rift that he throws. So if you're ever doing a Baron, you get hit by like something from really long range, like a
Yeah.
purple thing, it's because you're doing this one. It has this really nice choke point you can turn on right to the right of it. So,
I
well,
love this
I
one.
would say 1 out of 3 is still better than most LEC players, I think.
I have a question. How would you rate Finn's coaching? Do you feel like you've learned a lot from?
Like this was the
Was this coaching?
I guess.
I mean, he made it very interactive with the pictures.
Okay.
So that helps, like like I don't have to visualize it, but I see it with my own vision.
So next time you're on the rift, you're gonna think about this.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
gonna think about those drawings.
Territorial, hunter, and all-seeing.
Yes,
Yeah.
baby! Now we're talking. Now did Pad ever draw you a picture?
That's how you do it.
Pad is not drawing. He's really bad at drawing pictures.
Did you ever, like, Pad just rolled up with like a blackboard and he's just drawing a bot matchup showing you when to all in?
No.
No.
He
No?
doesn't do that.
Okay. I want to see your drawings next time, though.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do that.
Yes.
Talking about the game and the series, Fiesta was the key player of the series. today.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally?
I mean, he played really well. Finally, I'm happy
And he
for him.
didn't play good before that?
No, he was really bad before.
Okay. What made him better today?
Confidence.
Confidence.
He is confident in himself. I think he needed to acclimatize himself
Okay.
in the LEC studio. Although, like, there are no fans today, so
Yeah.
it's a bit easier probably because no noise.
I mean, he went from 8,000 people in week 1 into like an empty studio
Yeah.
today, so maybe that helps. Are you helping him feeling better, feeling confident?
I mean, we are preparing him for like the harder times with how we behave towards him. So now, like, this makes
Are
it
you
really
soft
easy.
launching
What do
verbal
you
abuse?
mean? Yeah.
I mean, we have to like, we can't go easy on him, you know?
Okay.
We have to go with our hard hand first,
So,
and then be soft after he like learns the good ways.
how are the communication now when Marek is out? Because he was quite vocal. Is Fiesta kind of stepping up or is someone else taking that role in the game to kind of lead the game forward?
I mean, I think Fiesta's actually stepping up quite well when it comes to communication.
Okay.
Linzas has to do like a little bit more than before, but still I think nothing drastic. And I'm really surprised because he's so confident when he spoke today in the game. He was so confident, like giving calls with new things that he learned in English. So I'm really happy.
What about you, Karzi? Have you changed?
No, I'm still the same person
Still the
I was
same
6 years
person.
ago.
All right. How would you define yourself? One word. Who is Karzi? What is Karzi?
I'm a mysterious.
You're mysterious. Okay, well, we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us once again. Yeah, and next time we'll talk about Vitality and what they do with Fiesta and how they treat him. No player was abused. during that training and that segment. That's all for us here. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Navi G2 up next. Stay tuned.
Epic carry BALKAN. Yasuo. Yasuo.
Smells blood. He's a shark right now. There goes kick against the wall, bully him. And with an ascension of demonic embrace, Nako dives him down. Infernal Chains comes out, Skin getting a pull back in. The spell shield was not in time. Not a way to find his way out. Double kill over to Nako.
Anyone is good, anyone is good. Scanner no. Look, Kaiser. I look, Kaiser. Kaiser is...
No flash, Nocturne, no flash. Combo in front. Combo now.
Incredible play there from...
Oh, that was incredible. You love to see it.
Right, yeah, let's really
What a move! He's just so good. I mean, the persistence, the patience to find the angle. You just don't see that from rookies. He's got it all. He's got the pizzazz.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Ooh, that looks good. Do you want to maybe share a little bit? Yeah.
What a move!
Red Bull gives you wings.
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Superlight on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament stage.
이제 저뿐만 아니라 다른 선수들도 세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
confident like you never deceive. Big ego, bigger brain, it's really obscene. Said we only wear designer cause we always look clean. And for that money, 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 everybody a fiend. And the bling like a chandelier hung on my chest. And I get it for free cause I'm simply the best. See deposits every hour, not breaking a sweat. About to lunch with my girls, grant type every request. Thank you.
Welcome back to LEC for our last series of the week. We've seen SK, we've seen Vitality. Thank you, casters. We've seen some very questionable Barons from Finn, and we're about to see G2 take on Navi.
What's a perfect and normal Baron?
They were completely
Perfectly average Baron.
Yeah.
Nothing to look at there. Anyway, I'm really excited for jungle. This jungle matchup has got me feeling like the all-seeing Baron, pulsating or whatever it was that Finn said. Reletch, Skewmond, banger jungle matchup. Both these guys super thrilling to watch. Now, full disclosure, lore, Finn, I think we all agree, like, G2 are probably going to smash. But this matchup feels like it'll be entertaining regardless of the result.
Listen, there might be a mismatch, although Navi is still an exciting team to watch, but looking at those junglers, I want to focus on the first 15 minutes of the game, because even if G2 manages to find ways to come back later on, what can Reletch do to make Skewmond's life miserable in the jungle?
I mean, what I like about Reletch is that he, and I think all of Navi together, is setting him up from drafts. He's really good at playing around his winning lanes, whether that is Poby having push, going for these re-invades on Raptors, and then forcing a fight. He's basically walking into Raptors saying, either I get your camp, or you come in here and I'm getting a fight that I like. So he's kind of forcing people to respond to him. And I'm not sure if you can do that against Skewmond, because I think Skewmond is also a very clever jungle.
Yeah.
But I really want to see a high emphasis on early game, because early game is something really important for both these teams, and I think that starts in draft. I don't want to see Victor comes here. I want to see
Ben, you're spitting. You didn't answer the question. So in summary, get a pushing lane, let him invade, and then Skewmond's life will be difficult no matter what, right? That's the key. So a lot of the things as we get later in the game, I think, become hard to replicate because G2 are such a proficient team. But pushing lanes should still be pushing lanes. And if you got a good jungle matchup and some pushing lanes, you can still make Skewmond have a really miserable time. But you're right that after 15 minutes, it kind of, you know, you kind of faith in G2 that the map play is just going to be better.
Looking at some of those lanes, we actually talked to Mainzer a couple days ago, and he was comparing himself to BB in some aspects. Can you talk us through what happened there?
Yeah, so we talked to Mainzer, and he said pretty much like Mainzer at his best is a very similar player archetype as BB.
Do you agree?
I would say so. I definitely thought Mainzer was more the player that was like, I want to win lane, I want to push my lead, and I want to dominate the enemy laner. And hearing him talk about it, he seems to be more of the kind of guy. He watches a lot of Keen VODs, you know, and we know Keen. You can give Keen a losing matchup, he'll come out even. You can give Keen a winning matchup, he's gonna win it. That kind of consistency in the top lane is what he wants to be, and I think that fits Navi perfectly. They don't need more stars, they need a rock, and I think for Mainzer, he needs to be that rock.
He needs to be that rock, and he needs to empower his jungler, because usually that's what it revolves around for Navi. We'll see if they can make G2's life difficult here in this matchup. Casters, over to you.
Thank you so much, Law. Hi, you're down there, we're up here. It's amazing to be here. I'm Mysterix, this is Dag Daddy, and he loves ice cream.
It is. It's a great shirt. It's amazing. I don't know what you mean.
I always worry, you know, on broadcast, you don't always want to wear like big brands, but that is a lovely brand.
Yeah.
Like, I think
do get some smiles from people walking in the road. I'm actually employed by Big Ice Cream, because when it's 28 degrees out, I'm like, just reminding you could have an ice cream.
I'm not allowed to do that. It is funny though, you know, people in the studio were like, ice cream. They don't say anything else. Someone walks by, they're like, ice cream.
That was you. You did that.
Other people did that. They didn't learn from me. Finn said Navi need the rock. They've got the rock, bro. Chill out. I think Navi really needs some star power, me personally. Where does that come from? Well, I think Poby has been a little bit invisible. I know you guys aren't going to like me saying that, and I know I'm coming out with big facts on day one for me, but I would love to see Poby step up to the plate, especially when he's going up against the creme de la creme of Europe. Caps is here. And you know what? G2 are too. With them slightly behind KC. That was the only loss they've taken so far. G2 have 2-1 Demcoy, 2-0 Vitality, 2-0 SK, 2-0 Heretics. And Navi might be up next. Playoffs are getting closer and closer, and G2 are going to be the next to lock in at this rate.
Yeah, I will say, though, kind of on your finding the star power for Navi, I've been incredibly impressed with Paris this split, especially the way he was playing on the Shen the other day. Like, this guy has been very good at getting out on the map, finding plays, linking up with Relech, and has, like, the early game for Navi has consistently looked well. It's just a case of trying to find that success in the mid game. So they were able to find it the last day up against SK, but I want to see a little bit of a cleaner time than, say, the Shifters experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. Navi have a tendency not to be able to see the game to its end. Yes, some teams in our league, you could say the same thing about, but I think Navi, the mid games haven't always been that great. Vi going to be first to go off the board. Oriana once again, this time respected by Navi, as Caps will not get his hands on that, but honestly, G2 have been playing anything and everything so far. If you look at their pedigree, people like Broken Blade and Caps just pull out whatever the hell's up.
The person that has been playing a little bit more standard, though, has been Hansana. Has had a couple of games on the Syndra and the Ziggs, even the Victor as well, but certainly we're kind of seeing him pop off in the Lucian, trying to see if he can carry from that AD caster perspective, and I think he's been doing a fantastic job of it. We'll have to see if that's where G2 want to put their eggs in the basket this time around, because I do think giving some of these like roaming supports over to Paris may be a mistake, or at least put a little bit more on pressure LeBron to make sure he can match those early plays for Paris.
As Olaf, the last ban by G2, they pay respect. Maybe going to be an eye angle this game for Broken Blade, but I digress, because for now it is the flex of the Victor. Hansama has also played that down bot, as you were just talking about his champion pool. Caps less so, with only one game so far. Let's see where Navi go, because the Shen is up and available, which is kind of a must-take, especially with Paris roaming so much. Oh my god, there's no way the Rock put glasses on.
He has the
Perk's got his on.
Of course he does.
They both have it on.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
Syndra, though, going to be over here, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Kind of the premium bot lane mage at the moment. It feels like very, very strong, able to get some good push, set up for some decent team fights. Cassiopeia gone away, and Oriana means that I imagine we're just going to look towards like the Jarvan here in the matchup, or maybe look towards something like the Nocturne. But I think the Jarvan you'd be happy with, especially with the setup already from the Syndra.
Yes, indeed. Adding a bit of that range in as well means we could get an angle of Jin here from Sam D for this game too. But for now, it's the Shen, a must-take. As you said, Jarvan up and available. Options into it not as good. Rumble also there if Broken Blade wants to blind that in. But it does feel like jungle here is a super easy take for G2.
Yeah, although we've seen Broken Blade bring out the Rumble more regularly, he kind of leaves it until that second rotation and doesn't put that super high priority. So we'll have to see if it is going to be more of that jungle support. But Jace was left open. So immediately going to take that.
Evo se nazad serija broj 2.
I imagine that's going towards Broken Blade in the top.
I ko što smo rekli ovdje, verovatno malo bolji draftovi, stabilniji draftovi, kao god hoćete.
G2 getting the Alistar for Lebrov. He's going to be in a good spot now to try and cover for some of these plays.
Do you take Silas spot here? No, of course you don't. But I'm just going to throw that out there with an Alistar locked in.
Silas mid isn't the end of the world here, to be honest.
It could be Syndra bot too.
Like, you've got the Unbreakable.
Ne, da Rock mimuje nad Perksom koji nosi naočare. Zato je stavio naočare. Trolo je Perks. A Rock inače kočovo IBL. Jedno vreme.
It is going to be the Nocturne for Relech, so something that can be present on the map. This Shen Nocturne combo incredibly potent as well, so I'd be very careful for this G2 laner.
It's a submarine that Gam invented, isn't it? Yeah. What can go with it? Well, not the Oriana, but maybe something else that can follow up the dive. For now, Skarner going to be taken away, as they're all worried about what Skumon is going to run into this. We talked about a couple of the matchups before in last game. But honestly, if you look at Skumon's champion pool, that guy plays everything as well as Yorick goes.
Skumon može svašta da radi.
I think that might confirm that Broken Blade wants to take that top.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed the Jace was going top, but I think we will see Skumon taking the Neferi.
Jace je flex, Victor je flex. Alistar je jako dobar pik. Syndra Shen mi je okej kombo.
At least you can match some of this long range play and even look for cross maps as well if you so choose.
Trundle. Okay. Thinking Trundle jungle here. Also annoying for the Syndra. Do you care about the probably not as a Jace, no. Do you care about the Vayne?
Vayne could be one. I mean, Finn has been touting the expertise of main run the Vayne after meeting him in solo queue. Did not end well for Finn. Spoiler alert. So we'll have to see if that is going to be the answer. Still though, I think this is where there aren't a huge amount of answers. Okay, I was going to say left available to the Jace if you do ban it away, but is this where Navi want to try and bring it out? You do have a very squishy composition is the only thing, but yeah, unless you want to try and play like an Abessa and all in onto the top side, I think the Vayne may be your best chance.
Does Main want to do it? I mean, he has been like, he's pulled out the Olaf, the only thing different with the Zahen, I guess, but it has been pretty standard for this top laner. As now options are there. It's going to be Cassante, as I said, standard. Second game of the Cassante going to be locked in here. And so they do have a front line now. They do have a bit of beef that can follow up.
Jace Xantea mislim da je igrivo. U smislu kao i jedan i drugi mogu samo da scalaju. Da nemaju nešto puno problema. Sad samo G2 mora da razbije flex da vidimo šta radi. Da li će u džungli da uzmu nekog Xina, nešto ono klasično s Humandovi, ili hoće proba da cheeza, to je jedno. Mislim da Navi ima relativno low damage comp, tako da u teoriji vidim da cheezaju s Nasusom ovde opet. Jer ja ne znam ko ubija Nasu od ovih heroja, ali kažem, druga safe bet je ovaj Xin. A i onda u teoriji samo graje šta hoće, mislim, i Jace i Viktor mogu se flexuju na 3 lane-a. Klasičan AD carry, mislim, ne znam ni šta bi. Kaj se banovana ima Šalistara Korki, I guess, da je dobio prije u meti, ako neće da flexaju. Ili samo da pikaju nešto na midu. Ok, fajn je, mislim, kažem, ovo je G2 njima, oni mogu da rade šta god hoće, tako da svi im igraju sve.
It's also now the Cassante doesn't really have any way to play into this matchup because Jace Ziggs, incredible poke, and this is the combo that we've seen very consistently together. You got good disengage with the Alistair and also the Zinzao plus zone control from the Victor. You kind of needed a tool to really start these fights off, and that is going to be the Nocturne. But when you can kind of peel away the rest of this composition from Navi, I think G2 have options to deal with this Nocturne if he ever tries to dive the backline alone.
That's a good point. For Navi, though, they're going to aim at a little bit more poke. So while Nocturne dives in, a little bit more flexibility with an 80 carry Ezreal getting locked in. So Poby is going to be dropping in the Syndra. But my biggest question, Dagger, is how do Navi approach the fights? They're going to full dive. They're going to send in the Shen, the Nocturne, and try and get some setup here with the help of Syndra. But is it going to be enough in your eyes?
Pa ćemo da imamo. Mislim, ovaj game, ne znam, ja nisam ljubitelj pola pikova od Navija, iskreno, ako nemaju neki kombo. Tipa ne volim Nocturne bez Oriana i slično. Ali pa nemam pojma, vidjet ćemo, ne znam. I dalje kažem, G2 je veliki favorit ulazit će ovaj meč. Ovo je sad samo pitanje da li G2 može da pozatvara ono, game dovoljno brzo i da krenu dovoljno agresivno da samo stormuju celu seriju. To je najveće pitanje.
But G2 versus Navi is going to be a different story. G2, heavy favorites as per usual. Pretty good team. Pretty well known. Pretty good at League of Legends.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Lebrov's going top, by the way. You guys aren't seeing it yet, but I see Porterhouse, top lane, 995. Lebrov and Paris. You know what? League of Legends is changing constantly, and this is just the way we are right now.
I mean, this is to get the vision for Jace, right? Because Cassante really wants to try and hide in the bush. That's why Paris has started with the sweeper. So if Lebrov puts down a ward, Paris can sweep it out, which then gives a lot of control. But
that Nocturne went deep. I don't know if full vision was given
A klasičan 2 na 2 na topu. Shen jači od Alistara. Human će ako hita dvojku, a Rileč ne smajta, biti jači. Ne, okej, video ga. I sad je Human video i bacio je smite. I sad Rileč želi da završi blue. A Human samo želi da se bije s Rilečom sad. Ono, flash E, bukvalno. S tim neće se bije, zašto nema smite. I sad da ga juriš u njegovu džunglu i uzimaš njegov kamp. Ali ga ne radiš. Pametno od Rileča povuče kamp, jer će onda krenu da biju Xina. A Xin ovo ne želi da završi, da će Rileč da face checkuje i samo da se bije s njim. I sad se Human bije s Rilečom ovde. Samo što je Human napravio malo grešku i Shen nije bio u uglu da follow upuje, to je sad malo problemi. Mi sad Scuman mora da se... Relaš ga outleva lepo. I kažem, Parus je jači dosta, level 1. Shen radi više. Execute! Okay. Na kraju se ništa nije dogodilo ovdje. Malo XP-a za Rilecha i to je to.
So Poby did the right thing of taking a very heavy trade against Caps in the mid lane, which stopped Caps from really being able to shift over, especially as he hit over to level 2. So then you had Poby and Paris able to try and play for it. Paris has the Aftershock very strong early stages into the pick.
Meanwhile, flash Natofos, but Mainton might be in a bit of trouble here. Broken Blade needs to get the autos down. Natofo hits, gets in with the shield. Broken Blade is going to get queued and dies. Flash to match. Mainton with a solo kill on first blood. Meanwhile, Sam D dies. Hans Otherwise, they both die. What the hell is my kind of League of Legends in Europe doing right now?
What the hell is happening in this game? So 2 for 1 for Na'Vi. A slight gold lead, and Mater getting a solo kill. Like, this is insane.
Both supports are still level 1. We're 3 minutes in the game.
So this is the bot lane where Sam D was looking for the reset. Hansama interrupts him to stop him. Oh, good arcane shift actually from Sam D to prevent it, but takes the as he goes under.
Mislim mi mora da rana teleport da meča Zigza, tako da je ovo fajna. Replayevi na sve strane. Nema gdje nema replayeva.
But even when he changes into melee form, doesn't have time to get the knockback. So Mainter, with the help of those minions, dashes forward, gets the kill. Big mistake from BB underneath the tower.
Yeah. I was expecting the Jace kind of to turn around there, but I guess for the early damage profile, Mainter's going to find a little bit more thanks to the inclusion of Doran's helm in this game. Solo kill. And a 1-for-1 down bot.
I think BB might actually just be out of it now, though. Chain Vest already picked up for Mainter. Means it's really difficult for Broken Blade to try and get through that health bar, especially when all he's gotten is a tier. So I think this clears up our top side significantly for Na'Vi. And if Relech can get into this bottom lane, he will spot LeBron. LeBron doesn't see him.
And he sees him now, level 2. Spell Shield going to be there, bopped away. But Hansama can only watch as he sends out a bouncing bomb. LeBron has to take the long way back as he is still level 2. He's going to say, you know what, it's okay. I want to go mid anyway, but he's spotted out by a deep ward. Thanks to the fact that Relech has had tempo in this game, due to Skumon not getting anything from the Raptor invade.
Yeah, and again, I think that was good play from Poby. Great reactions from Paris to come and help. And the early game damage from a Shen is absurd compared to the Alistair. So you end up with Skumon isolated. Skumon, though, kind of has to be the one now to put pressure back on the map, especially in this top side, because Mainter, as you can see, is going to be happy to just sit here and continue to farm up the minions. Broken Blade won't get a lead. He won't be able to push in the tower, start to get plates, really do anything, I feel like, at this stage in the matchup. So you kind of need some attention there. As LeBron finds Sam D, but there's the arcane shift away.
It's annoying to deal with, but Sam D still forced off, while the wave is going to be pushing out up against him. So time for Sam D to back, teleport straight back in. He's already got tier.
Važi, ima to lagano, sretno.
This game is slowed down from whatever the hell was happening before. LeBron just hit level 3, by the way.
Što Caps neće na Shena da baci niku u basic, jer zna da mu ništa ne znači za lane.
Walking down to the jungle invade and then sitting mid, but it was all about like denying the potential trade.
Znači, support gameplay mi je postao toliko čudan. Ti pogledaj dva supporta koje namjerno nisu tu. Znači kao namjerno žele da dropaju XP. To će popraviti u sljedećem patchu ako se ne varam. Mislim da catch up XP u sljedećem patchu se nešto nerfuje. Tako da, verovatno će malo se unormališi sve što se događa.
I want to say chess, but I don't know what chess boxing moves, I suppose, in this one. Yeah. And it's left us in the position now where it's fairly even, but the big loser has been the Jace in the top side, not having an advantage.
Maybe now Paris as well. Shattered out should get out of this, but Aftershock not going to save his life for you now. Poby standing on top of the Chaos Field. LeBron in a bit of trouble. The Gravity Field down as well. Poby still getting shocked out. Skumon, Wind becomes lightning, looking for the audacious charge. He's tagged out only Paris here as Poby runs behind his Shen.
Paris used the Spirit's Refuge to deny Skumon the follow-up, so he wouldn't be able to get the knock-up and try and finish off the Syndra. But big mistake from Poby on that one. Doesn't connect with the Scatter the Weak, which doesn't lead up to the kill on LeBron. LeBron very lucky to escape away from that one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still thinking about chess with boxing in it, you know, like, I take your queen, right hook. It would make things interesting. It's like a Zoomer's way of playing chess to get them interested.
Have you never seen chess boxing?
No, it's actually
it's an actual sport. You play chess for one round, and then you box for the second round, and then you chess for the third round.
I thought it was literally like you take someone's piece and you get to punch them in the face.
Zašto ga ne radimo, zašto nije komentarisanje, nije custom, nije watch party, chillamo zajedno i gledamo zajedno.
Okay, broken blade up against the wall, might be in trouble, goes to the hammer form as well. All out won't be able to be pushed by main to get the new mana bar.
Jer generalno, da radim komentarisanje, komentatori ne čitaju chat. Tako da... Lec je, mislim nije frka nikakva da odgovorim tamo posle, ali da, Lec je ušao u watch party od početka ove godine, što znači da bukvalno chillam s vama. Čitam chat, zezamo se, družimo se. Naravno neke stvari koje su i bitne i pitate, breakdownujemo analitički i sve to, ali kastovanje kao kastovanje se ne radi za Lec.
I mean, this is not as stupid as I saw, like, the roof football or whatever it was in America. That's so dumb. Yeah, look, BB in trouble. He did teleport to this. Main to the flip back. It's flashed away from.
MA će biti, MA Master će biti kastovan. On će da se dogodi kad se završi IBL, ali ima do kraja IBL još jedno mjesec dana, možda malo jače.
As Broken Blade is getting broken in this first game.
He's doing it himself though. He's kind of put his foot in the door and then close.
I onda ćemo za Worlds vidjeti šta i kako. To je još jedna stvar. On nisam najsigurniji, ali mislim da bi Worlds trebao da bude isto. Mislim, bit će kastovan sigurno, Worlds samo je pitanje na kom kanalu, ali vidit ćemo još. Da, mislim da je play da Worlds bude na Fortuni, da. Na Fortuni i da bude kastovan, samo vidit ćemo u kom opsegu, jeli.
G2 are down 4 kills in the hole. Grub's now there, and Na'Vi looking red hot through their top lane in these big skirmishes.
Na'Vi are doing a great job to punish G2. To play on top side, and then even the positioning from Caps as well. Poby with the scout of the week to catch him in the brush. Lebrov just kind of poking his head in, but there is very little you can do to carry on here.
There's really little that, in comparison to the Shen, has been able to be done by this Alistar anyway. And Paris once again showing up big with Relech, and we talked a lot about it coming into today. This jungle support duo is how things are done on the side of Na'Vi, as Sam D's in a bit of trouble. Mega Inferno Bomb is available. Hans, I'm not going to throw it. Look at these stats on the left side of your screen. No, don't. I don't want you to look at it anymore. You're not allowed because we've got a replay.
Yeah, you can see here, so Paris tries to go for
Ovo bi mene pogodilo, sam AD carry.
the follow-up. Cap steps up, but
1/1 ovaj taunt konektuje.
after the knockback comes through, thanks to Mainter as well.
Sad ću ti reći, Kevin.
Skewmon forced to flash away. At least LeBron
Čekaj samo raspored da naći.
from tethering, but still, Void Grubs fights, kills.
BL.
Is only growing for
28.
such a key component of that, but
27. ti je Summer finale, ali onda imaš Season Finals. Jer koncept je ti imaš 3 splita, sad je Summer split, Summer finale je 27. 28. je Lec. I onda nakon toga imaš promotional turnir i imaš dva polufinala, treće i finale za cijelu godinu. I to se završava 10. septembra. A EMEA Master kreće 21. septembra. Tako da tad kreće EMEA Master. I onda ide EMEA do dosta. I onda Worlds kreće 15. oktobra i traje do 14. novembra i onda od tad pa do sljedeće godine e-sport je na maloj pauzici. To je, ja mislim da je to samo za Summer Split, ali vjerovatno će biti za Summer Finals neke predikcije nešto. Ali mislim da je to za Summer Split samo, za sad.
very happy spot as Na'Vi continue to keep the pressure up. And this is what you want to see from Na'Vi. I've been very impressed early game, but here we go, Paris.
Good shadow dash as well. Caps puts down the gravity field, pokes out Paris. Heal going to be used as well. Lebrov now shown. But they couldn't get Caps flash. He held on to that for a nice little while.
But I do still appreciate that we're seeing Paris continue to move around the map. Relech now in the wings. Dragon's still yet to be taken this game, which is the most surprising. Ooh, okay,
it's good flash, good reaction as well. Paranoia comes out. Caps in a bit of trouble, but now the lights go back on. I think you'll find Relech is going to flip back and die himself. Skewmon Crescent guards. Caps gets the kill. And again, this time the flash was saved, used well. And And Caps gets on the board for it as Mainter with a flip back. The all-out going to be used away from the turret. Now looking for the true damage. It's found. Broken Blade goes into hammer form as Flash is almost up and available for Mainter, but will he even need it? Flip back, maybe he did. Second turret shot, the shield to save his life. Mainter runs for the hills while Broken Blade gets his time in to back quickly.
Maybe going to be happy to survive that one, but as Jace, oh, hang on, yeah. You want to be thriving in this matchup, not just surviving. As Mainter still here, should be fine at this stage. You have to be careful of the third shot here.
Broken Blade is looking for a bit of combat with the minions to get that grasp up so he can auto, but the Cassante's not going to get anywhere near him. So Broken Blade just clears the wave and both will back.
Still though, Caps massively outperforming on that mid wave. Manages to get the flash away from the engage, and with that overextension then you've got Skumon waiting in the wings, so really well orchestrated.
Ja se pitam,
G2 need every bit of help that they can get, and it might be that magic man in the mid lane to provide it.
Ja se nadam do kraja nedelje, ali ko zna.
Walk out safely. I got taught the concept of gazelling up in the top lane today, and so he's going to gazelle to the inner turret in top. Just prance off out of range. Caps gets free access to turret plating in that time as well, where he is doing quite nicely now. Up against Poby, matching the gold. That was a discrepancy before. Well, Sam D, we look towards bot. He's actually picking up some gold for himself to match on.
Yeah, they tried to spot Broken Blade.
Mić, koliko sam čuo, mislim da se zaposlio u nekoj firmi nevezano s e-sportom. Radi nešto.
But now he's been forced away from the bot lane tower because there's 3 members of Navi here, so Broken Blade falling further and further behind in this game. This Jace is going to be completely irrelevant. Now with Roulette showing up, we'll see that Labrov is there, but I don't think Broken Blade is obviously going to be dove, but not going to really do too well underneath this structure.
Poby's coming down as well though.
Navi sad izgleda dosta dobro u Bibi. Ovo je bilo u stvari dobro jako od Bibija. I samo fokusiraju Shena, sad ubiješ njega i to je to, ne možeš sebe da ulta. Nope. Alistar 5. I da, Alistar bio 6, je bilo fajn za G2. No, G2 pravi greške.
I was going to say, they need to push this fast. I wasn't sure if you'd actually get Sam D sticking around to try and clear out that wave. TPing now to the mid lane means that Caps might have time to take this top lane turret. But it will be a race here. Mainter trying to force this.
He's trying Broken Blade using the W to get rid of the minion wave a little bit faster as well. All out's going to be burnt here surely. But Broken Blade, he's coming with a Black Cleaver and he is now shredding through the Cassante. Bit of a different story. Iceborne, yes, but Black Cleaver first, and that's the news story for Broken Blade.
Obi managed to TP up in time to protect that top tower as well, so both structures going to stand for the moment. But Navi with a nice turret dive on towards the bottom side of the map as well. I didn't think they'd be able to make it work with the Labrov there as well, but the fact that Paris got stunned just outside of turret range sets them up very well. So G2 again on the back foot. At least now Broken Blade with that Black Cleaver, as he said, can put a bit more pressure on towards Mainter. But I don't know if he's really in a position now to, as we get towards like Rift Herald in a couple of seconds, to really try and help out.
Well, there is no TP from either of those top laners, and they are sitting in the bottom lane for now, which means that Herald might just end up being a 4v4. Poby's walking up to top and...
Jako spor game. 7 kilova za 15 minuta.
Dropping down here. Over to Caps, first turret of the game. Localized gold as well, so...
Gold even. BB je malo useless. Mislim, ovaj Jace mi je zbunjujući pi generalno.
Paris is sitting on a ward and Skumon is waiting for Paris to think that he can come on in. As soon as he walks down, there will be a bit of wind coming through from the spear of Skumon.
Skumon stoji u fogu. Čeka da Tontiju BB sad se pojavio.
This does buy the time, though, that G2 needed for Caps to reset and pick up that Hextech Protobelt. So, first items across the board there on your left-hand side of your screen is going to be nice as you're looking at Rift Herald in a few moments. And if Paris is on the bottom side and trying to help out Mainter, should mean that Broken Blade can clear out this wave and then look for a reset in kind as well. So, still a lot of movement on the map for both sides as to who wants to try and commit to this Rift Herald. But it feels like this game has stalled a little bit with neither team fully certain they can take that objective.
Yeah, it's just been like, look, let's just wait and see. Next Dragon probably is the wait and see moment. As you said, the Herald is now being pinged down. It's been being moved rather. Relech is on the top side of this map with Perimeter Hexblade. Paranoid going to be popped. Caps on his head is going to press that W. Spell Shield is there, but the stun up still working out. Paris with a Shadow Dash, but here comes Skumon to save the day. Flash away from Relech, but he's knocked up. And in the middle of an arcane...
Dobro, jedan. Parus Flash. Kline. Kometa. S Kometom će dobiti kill, realno. Ok, G2 ga kloje nazad polako.
perfectly. Relench trying to attack on that setup, and now Hansama finds some D with the knockback. You got Labrov there.
Waiting for the arcane shift. It comes through, but Labrov's going to have him with the trample exhaust down as well. Hansama landing everything, and all he needs to do is press Q one more time. Flash from Sam D. You got to respect it. He gets Hansama's flash, but down he will drop. Hansama with 3 kills, and G2 electrify this game 1.
Caps even chasing Poby out of that topside jungle as well, trying to put his stamp on the mid lane. Even Broken Blade getting alone time with his bottom side. Such a massive swing of gold for G2 in the last couple of plays.
I'm sure some of you have got the extension on Twitch have been already seeing, but that flip of gold that's now on your screen is huge.
Yeah, and we talked about how for Na'Vi, they want to try and attack G2 in the setup. That was what Relench was looking for, trying to catch Caps before that Rift Herald play was set up. But Skewmond reading it well, there to cover his mid laner and making sure that this play came to nothing. The blue ward just to spot out the Victor. Good cover. Here's Skewmond, and because he turns onto Relench, there's just no real follow-up, and even holding on to...
Aj, mislim, dva heroja realno ne rade damage.
Good blue ward into the pixel brush
I snowball, ili ti ko metica.
And Hansama picks up one, picks up the second kill on Sam D as well.
I 2K za G2. Ubili su koliko? 600-700 gold. Koji ga polako vraćaju nazad.
That last 60 health or whatever it ended up being. So Hansama gigantic here on the Ziggs, and he was already doing fine. That 1-for-1 down bottom lane. It evened things out, like for what Hansama had, what, a 5 CS lead? But now things are really big. As Paranoid going to be used on Broken Blade, this is going to be a 1v2. The flip back is good as well. A wall presents itself, but Mainz is not going to...
BB je useless, mislim. Kapiram sa Muramanom i Voltajkom će imati neki range pressure. Ali pogotovo ovako sa Black Cleaverom kad je behind, samo ne radi ništa.
Something at the very least. We're wondering what the Cassante will end up doing in this game. I mean, a lot. And remember, Dagda, as Finn says, he's not a tank, and that is true. Yep. He's just a pain in the ass. He is. Because in every team fight, he isolates you, he separates you. He gets damage off of armor MR.
Baš je useless. Mislim, Cleaver je super, ali neće u fightu. Dok on basicu je dovoljno da Cleavera plaja full armor, njega Cassante ubije. A čak i Cassante sa full shutdownovanim armorom i dalje ubije JCN.
I'm not going to do it.
I would trust you on the balance team, Dagda. All that damage from Hansama. Arcane shift forward with a Mystic shot. Herald's still going to get the charge. No way to deny it. Hansama trying to zone. Satchel would kill this, I believe, if Ziggs goes near it. But Hansama's just going to lay back anyway and eventually push his wave. While Sam D backs off with TP. And Broken Blade, we talked about it before, he's just getting some alone time every time that Mainta thinks he has to move and wrap towards the play.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of Broken Blade is benefiting from the fact that multiple members of Na'Vi have to now deal with the rest of the squad. Yeah. Like 1.4k gold lead for Hansama, you got Caps who's got a massive gold lead as well. It is not fun for the rest of Na'Vi to try and deal with this. So for Mainter, he kind of has to come and join in with the rest of the team, but when he does so, he's heavily indexed in towards the armor. Sure, yep. You've got a little bit more with the protein there that you have the MR, but still up against a Victor and a Ziggs, he is going to struggle. We already talked about trying to close that gap as well. Sure. So G2, with the presence elsewhere, are able to buy time for Broken Blade. And this is where for Na'Vi, I think the lack of engage is really going to start to hurt them, because G2 can just continue to set up and siege without much threat of really being engaged on, apart from Relench and Paris. But how do you try and follow that as the rest of Na'Vi?
And you know, a new problem as well is that, like, also for Na'Vi getting these deep wards in, or rather G2 being able to do it. Pokecops love deep vision, love to scout out. Like, the ability to approach is just that much harder. Mainter is going to get a top turret, but G2 is still hovering around in case he sticks around. Well, at least some gold does go down to Na'Vi to slim it down to 1,000, the difference.
And I think Na'Vi will be having some flashbacks that third game against SK, where we actually heard Paris in the comms saying, hey, you know, we kind of need your flash to engage. We are struggling to find those engage routes, and they kind of drafted themselves into a similar struggle at the moment as Labrov stepping up.
Labrov ima ult, ali baš igra hrabro. Ima i Cleanse, ima i ult. I TP, što je malo okej. U istom trenutku da ima, ali... Čim do ovdje legit sam engageš na Labrovom, forsiraš spell ako ništa. Je Labrov hard overextenda ovdje. Sad može S da proba da ga skine s ultom. Labrov to mora da očekuje. Dođa, fajn je.
He's alone up top. Yes, bot turret did go down. Broken Blade also getting some more plating though. And the Jace getting himself well and truly back in the game.
Yeah, it was a 1,000 gold lead from Mainter, now kind of drifting down to the 700 region. So slowly but surely, G2 are starting to get some gold into their top laner. Still though, you are getting decent pressure on the mat from Navi, right? Labrov having to burn the Unbreakable will give some time towards the Syndra in the bottom lane. You're getting some position on the map as well. And I think ideally what Navi want is for Paris to start cheating some of this tempo. If you can get some deep wards into the G2 side of the jungle, maybe there's windows for Mainter to find creative flank angles, look for a big ultimate as Labrov.
He's found out no Unbreakable will, and this is the great timing for Navi. It's a minute towards the Dragon, but this will enable deeper vision and a bit more extra gold.
Great pick play from Navi. This is exactly what they want to try and do. And it already burning that ultimate on Labrov made him a bit more of a sitting duck than a cow. As Paris, here we go, we were talking about the vision that he wanted.
That's good damage. Denied a little bit of it, but Paris, he's so squishy in comparison. Easy kill, bit of a mistake here from the support, who's always looking to go a little bit further.
Yeah, really wanted to try and get some of that vision in, but played into the opposite side of the map where they had the strength, right? You already had Syndra pushing in on the bottom side, was trying to cheat some of that tempo that we were talking about, but gets called out as Skimod was waiting for him there.
Alright, Dagda. Big problem. Ziggs is going to have Rabadons very soon. He's backing now. True Shot Barrage actually stopped him on the minimap, thank you observers. But that's already double Rabadons. He's got it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely does. And it's for a second Dragon as well, which is in a couple seconds. So I feel like if I'm Navi, this is where I would like to have the ability to try and make some sort of side lane play. But you can look at where the waves are. Nothing threatening the tower. G2 already in position. Dragon is up, and they will burn through it.
Navi like, let's just forget it. Maybe open up top a little bit, get some more gold in. For the Cassante, will it matter? But G2, second Dragon of the game. Mountain stats denied away from said Cassante as well. As Navi uses this opportunity to get something mid. And we'll find at least a plate, maybe close to getting the turret. Meanwhile, in top lane, is the dive. Is it over-ambitious? Mate is going to go squishy. I don't think I would choose to do that normally, but Paris flew in and proves us all wrong. He'll survive the third turret shot, and Navi go in and out of what looks so sketchy with Labrov next to die. Flawless dive on the inner turret.
Boga mi, jako su lepo ovo odigrali. Vratili su gold full, uzeli su kulu. Ne, znaš kako, u suštini i da i ne. Eksante dosta bolje skeluje od Džina. Doktor također od duše opada, a Ezreal također s mobilitijem može svašta da radi. Jer ekipa G2 nema lagani lockdown za Ez. Ez u stvari može da ima veliki impact u ovom gameu. Ne mora da znači da hoće, ali ima puno slobode. Ma kako Ezreal ne voli da uzima MR, AD carry sa 7 itema uzme Momo Mortius ko zadnji item. A ko ubija Ezreala i kako? Mislim, najbolji slučaj Xin upali ulti i souka dovoljno damage-a. Ali kao specifično da dođeš do njega da ga ubiješ jako je teško, a pogoditi ga sa skillshotom na Max Ninja je također jako teško. Tako da, mislim da Samdi tu također ima jako dobar ugao. A full build Cassante samo nikad neće da rikne, mislim, to nema šta.
Skimon jumps in, but the rest of Na'Vi are on their way down. G2 a little bit far off. The poke squad are looking for an angle here while Na'Vi hold the fort, hold the line in the tri-brush.
Yeah, there's not really a huge amount here for either squad to get, though. I think both of them just kind of contesting position. It does mean, though, for Na'Vi, with so much gold now on their top laner, that if Mainter isn't in position to try and take these fights, they're significantly weaker, which is why he's now been called down to group up with the rest of the team. They want to try and, again, just keep some sort of vision control here, maybe catch stragglers as they go. But there's no real pressure on the map right now, so G2 kind of happy to match and just continue to clear waves and play for dragons.
Let's see some of this Ziggs damage on Cassante, because I just saw some Jace damage and it was...
Ziggs AD carry već od početka godine. Zadnjih nekoliko mjeseci magevi su se baš spajkovali na poziciji AD carry-a. Mislim, meta se skroz pomutila. S tim da kažem, ajde sljedeći patch koji treba da dođe, Rio će nešto da uradi vezano za to, pa će onda i malo manje biti igrani magevi na botu, ali mislim da ih neće ukloniti skroz. Tako da mislim da ova meta ostaje.
Yeah.
Not that outrageous, but you know, he's a goober, isn't he?
He is.
What's his backstory? Why has he got bombs?
He's a mad scientist.
Yeah, who gave that dude bombs? He made it, right?
I assume so. But yeah, he's the mad chemist or something, isn't he? Isn't that the call?
Must be. Are him and Singed, are they like...
No, I think they're different regions.
Right. I know they're different regions, but have they met? How lore focused are you?
It's not in Arcane yet, so I haven't got that far yet.
I've got a great idea for a show. Lore's Lore. Lore, if you're listening. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Lebrov, in. Okay, spell shield's now down. So we're going to be channeled, and that's a big bad boss. Mainta flies in with the shield in hand. Level 17 Cassante, though, won't find an angle. They did draw in a TP for free.
Oh, hang on a second. There's a flank from Mainta in behind them as well.
Unbreakable will now down as well. You talk about a paranoia going to come through. Mainta finds
Ajde vidimo. Dakle, sad pa Aleksante, on samo uliči u njihovu cijelu ekipu uliči. I u kulu i sve. Ne mogu ubiju. Ja volim kad je meta šarana, ja ne volim kad ne mogu se igraju tipa AD carry, to mi se ne sviđa. Ali recimo te neke stvari kreativnije su mi okej. S tim da ono što ja volim je da postoji counter za sve, znaš, da nije kao, ne znam, ono je bila meta, svi su proksijovali, kao to je to.
With G2, play back well, Lebrov peels well. You can kind of see the difficulties for Na'Vi in actually closing on to G2.
It's difficult, especially with the CC. I mean, Lebrov is a pain, but I also see the trouble in getting the damage through on Mainta at this point. Again, I really want to see more of Hansama. I think Void stuff's going to be mega important in this game. Thank you to our production crew. The damage number's important here to show you that that is the poke that has been landing. Caps has not been super involved in some of these mid-game fights. But obviously right now it's all about Dragon. 10 seconds, Dagda. Scatterweek going to start us off, but Na'Vi have priority here with mid-push as well.
Yeah, Na'Vi just kind of want to contest mid-wave. They want to give as little time to G2 to poke them down as possible. So you can see Relech immediately goes over to start it up as Mainter, able to prevent the engage from Lebrov.
Halfmaker in, he's comfortable here in front of 4 members of G2. Sam D, if he keeps getting poked out by Hansama, that's where the problem will begin. Scatterweek from Poby not connecting. Shock blast, a little bit of damage on the toes of the Ghost. Hansama, he has instant wave clear through mid, so that wave is just gone. Baron being threatened while Dragon is already gone. Relech just sat on it by himself. Mountain stats acquired. Baron now the real threat as G2 try and choke out Vision.
I don't think they can really go for this Baron right now. There's not enough poke on towards Na'Vi. They're going to try and contest several of these. Like every line here should be poke and prod, but here
Paris,
we go.
He found out. Lights turned off to save his life. It won't be forward engage. It will be to keep Paris ticking. Relech doesn't press the button. Mainta now found out as well. Skewon gets a smite down. Pathmaker out, invulnerable, unstoppable. Now for the knockout for the 3 Talon strike. Skewon finds him yet again. Slowly being whittled down. He jumps to Sam D. Mainta is out as Poby continues zoning off G2, but they're healthy enough. This time they'll threaten it again, or at least make Na'Vi walk into their hands.
That's all they want. Na'Vi to continue to face check this. Relech with the spell shield on the accelerated shock blast means he won't take much damage. Paris has arrived again. But G2, they're trying to rush this down, but they might actually give an angle for Na'Vi to find that flank.
Mainta no flip back yet. G2, Scatterweek not going to connect on them. Poby wants an angle, needs a ball to hit. Baron doing quite a lot of work.
Pa jeste, zato nije poenta, mi zato su ti magevi malo, ono, manje zanimljivo. Pa ću doći samo za sekund.
Poby gets a stun. It's nice, but G2 got the pick. Baron will halt, everyone will chill, but it's one for G2.
G2 managed to kite it out. Na'Vi just not quite having the follow-up damage that they would have liked to on that engage. Because we'll see it here. Relech already kind of in the pit forces G2 back, but they're constantly playing in towards this choke. Even when you get the knockback in the Scat of the Week onto Caps, the follow-up, it's onto Broken Blade. Mainter isolated because he popped that ultimate is actually easier to burst down. Lebrov buying space from the rest of the Na'Vi to follow up. Poby not in a position to ult. Sam D not in a position to do much more.
I think I saw, because I thought it was the Shen at first, I think Paris pressed E but went past 2 people. He actually didn't do anything. It was the Poby Scat of the Week that got the stun.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, look, Mainta going too far. And the problem with Cassandra is once you ult, all those tank stats pretty much disintegrate and disappear, and you're so squishy. This comp has so much damage that doing that in the face of the whole of G2 is reckless. Good one. Now, Dagda, 500 gold lead. Baron is up, that's the threat. Dragon away for 2.5. For now, I'm worried because Hans Summer, I think, got the Void stuff in the previous fight, or at least has it now. And those waves are butter. As Mainter's in the bottom wave, he's got TP to join. Shock Blast's not going to connect, and it is all about this ARAM for both these teams. They want to land the poke. Syndra Ezreal versus Victor, Ziggs, and Jace begin round 3.
But G2 are just calling Navi, saying, hey, engage on us. Like, what are you going to do? You've got nobody to actually set this up, especially now. Paris no flash. Mainter sure has the flash back up and available, but G2 happy to sit here all day long, continue to fish for poke. If it lands, great, Baron. If not, what do we lose? There's no pressure on the map for Navi. They can't do anything.
What they can do is slowly trickle down that bot wave. Relech gets tagged. G2 come back towards mid-wave for the next spawn. Hans Summer, remember again, he's the wave clear that they need to deal with on the side of Na'Vi. They have one cannon minion running down mid. They're going to try and use it here. Sam D finds himself on mid turret. Inner drops. Mainter a little bit far behind as well. True Shot Barrage tags Skewmont. Paris with an angle as well, trying to threaten G2. Scatter the way, beautiful. Poby sets it up, flush away from Broken Blade. Here he comes, a Predator missile, but a two-man pulverize from Lebrov sends sky high. Na'Vi try and send the damage out, Broken Blade gets drawn back in. Mainter, a beautiful ult this time to scatter the way. Once again lands, but Paris found out slacking in the back line. Hans Summer takes him down, drops him low, and it's top for support the trade, 1-for-1.
There's so much damage from the mages on G2. The Navi's backline ends up having to retreat. Sam D taken so low after the damage that came through from that Mega Inferno bomb. G2, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but their health bars are still topped up.
I think they need to kill Hans Summer. I think that is obvious, but I've got to keep saying it.
But it's easier said than done. I mean, watch this, right? You send everything onto Broken Blade with the Scat of the Week that ends up setting up Relech with that paranoia, immediately jumps in onto the back line. But how do you try and continue here? Sam D already taking a half health just as the fight starts out. He isn't even poking over the wall. Now Arcane shifts. Relech is low. The Mega Inferno Bomb takes him completely out. And your mage, your Poby, not in a position to really follow up because he'd positioned in that Raptor pit. Whereas G2 continue to roll on through. And it's not like Caps and Hans Summer are ever under any real threat.
Caps also, that's Zonya's. Plus now GA for Skewmon too. There's a lot of buttons to halt that phase of engage from Na'Vi. Needlessly large for Hans Summer, a bit of extra damages. Gets away from the shock blast. Here we go, ARAM once again. Dragon though, up in 10 seconds.
G2 will continue the game of you can threaten Dragon, will threaten Baron. All they want to do is
sam da je
from hitting on towards their base. This time around though, you are slowly going to lose.
da ništa, da niko ne uzeo Barona na kraju.
Already on the Dragon means he should be able to take it. G2, the poke hasn't landed. And while this game can continue for a bit, eventually it will be Na'Vi who are getting to a point. G2 now trying to step up to get some of the poke down, but Na'Vi already got the Dragon. G2 going to back away over towards the Baron and see if they can draw Na'Vi into their damage.
It is a Na'Vi win then. Again, the stats go to the Cassante. Means more damage, means more ability to survive some of this poke. Already, it's not doing that much. It's all about Hans Summer landing on him, but it takes a long time. Na'Vi, that's a win.
Kažem opet, ove dvije ekipe su mnogo bolje, tako da vidjet ćemo kakva je tu situacija.
They need a pick, they need some of this poke to connect. The game continues to be stalled out. Remember Syndra as well, the scaling element is still there with the splinters.
But it's also second Mountain Dragon for Na'Vi, a third Mountain Dragon plus a potential soul. Like, Na'Vi are going to get very tanky, and sure you've got poke, but it's going to be harder for that really to stick as Mainter steps in towards Skewmon.
Does he care? Caps is coming in. Mega Inferno Bomb. Bit of bomba on Poby. Pathmaker out. Jumps in with the shield. Mainter has a bit of gap close to get himself out of dodge. Now they've been poked out a little bit here as well. Not a bad start here for G2. True Shot Barrage dodged by Caps. Midwave dealt with. The Ray's out, but nice shielding from Mainter yet again. As bot wave needs to be dealt with maybe.
It's already taken one place. Might take the tower itself as that bot tower. Yeah, there it goes.
You can't leave mid, Dagda. You can't leave mid. That's the rule of this game now. Nobody leaves mid.
But a G2, with that, immediately start up the objective. So, Na'Vi trying to see now if they can face check Paris, stepping forward with that sweeper. But you can see Mainter not really taking much damage. The Brav just being a pain.
It's going to get some vision down. 4K, it's going down there, fully committing Paranoia. Turns the lights off. Relech, an angle with GA. Where will he find it? 3.6K. Baron's held on to. Skewmon trying to find his mark. Running through this Baron. It's no steal. It's secured. G2 trying to get the objective. Mainter's deep yet again. Bot back. He all out. Separates himself onto Caps as well. Now finding the damage down with the Chaos Storm. In with Parrot finding his mark in. He was too squishy. Top laner and RV down. Down with the support as well.
Ovo je samo, da. Ovo je samo vid za G2. Koliko unlucky za Navi, iskreno. Što završi game? Pa dobro, realno, Syndra ima scatter, ali nisam siguran.
And methodical and repetitive may have just blown open.
Broken Blade going to deal with the wave. Hansama helps as well. Scout of the week from Poby needs to buy some time. The damage on the Broken Blade won't be enough. 5 members of G2 stand strong. What a way to end. He finally pulled the trigger, finally forced a hand at Na'Vi. You can't stick around in mid forever. Their game plan comes up. Trumps as Na'Vi are still on their defense. Roulette is going to go. So is Poby. Para's trying to buy time with the wave, but he's only...
Ovo je bukvalno ko, ja ne znam, ovo je bio neki klik-tik nivo gema. Da. Jako clean shot calling, jako clean makro od G2-a. Full even game i samo odjednom fight kod Barona, full stomp i GG's. Jako lepo, nema šta. Ništa, ostavit ćemo intervju pauzi za 10 minuta i vidimo da li G2 završava seriju do kraja, tako je 10 minuta pauza. I tu smo za Gamer 2.
It looked like such a hard game to win, though.
I mean, I think it is by the nature of the draft, honestly. I don't necessarily think we played bad. Obviously, like we had like some moments and like we died a bit on like on top, but I think like with like Nocturne, they actually have the pressure to kill us on side, and we don't necessarily have like the best like side champs. So yeah.
You made it in the end. A win is a win. I'm gonna let you join your team, and actually, I'm gonna work with you. And G2 came in swag. The coaches came in swag as well. And yeah, G2 as always, finding the solution in games when we don't think they can. After a really difficult early game, though. What do you guys think?
Certainly the case, Lore. Certainly the case. A tricky game to unpack, no doubt in my mind. But I think it's safe to say we know Jace is the man of the future. But after that game, for BB, it's going to be a thing of the past.
God damn.
Because it was terrible. It was really bad. Bro got a solo kill. That was bad. And it is one game. It's a rough one, but it was, it was closer than it should have been. And top lane was a big part of that.
It's a big part of that. And Finn, that's what we prefaced in the pregame, actually, with what Maincher said, wanting to match BB in his style. He got the best of him here.
Absolutely.
No words need to be spoken here.
Mainzer had a fantastic laning phase on the Cassante. I love how he navigated early game, finding that solo kill early because it started very volatile. I was surprised that Na'Vi actually committed the Shen up here early because I thought they would just play for their only winning lane, which was the Ezreal Shen in the early game. But they had this wanky ass idea of invading the top side level 1 with the Nocturne. Didn't really work out for them. It became a wild goose chase. And in the end, the winner of this was Mainter, because when Jace was looking around what was happening here, he was able to contest the wave, which usually is really difficult as the Cassante versus Jace. But by contesting the wave early, he kind of set himself up for that super good trade, which BB flashed away from. I mean, what are you gonna do? Cassante just kills you anyway.
Very true. Finn, the word you were looking for is wacky. Wacky level 1. Wanky. There's a theme running today with Finn, and it's unintentional, which makes it all the better. But here we see a pretty wacky top lane 1v1 as well. We call this out like, look, really clean catch here. Finn, you said it, I think, best. Once BB burns his flash, bro, run. You've already lost the fight.
Yeah.
Sticking around for what? To dance around the Cassante who still has a sum up on you?
And he didn't do it once, didn't do it twice. Did it 5 times, at least. During that, he made the whole game difficult, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to say, I think G2 bounced back fantastically. They had Hansama on the Ziggs, they had Caps on the Victor. And what they did is they kind of just started grouping mid, and whenever Na'Vi was overgrouping on one side, they were hugging that other side super tightly and didn't give them any access. And they were forcing that Baron for like 2 to 3 attempts. On the third one, it actually worked. They managed to win a fantastic fight. And I kind of want to break it down if I get the chance here.
All right.
As I'm gonna go to my little iPad here because I'm an iPad kid. This is the top side fight.
Yeah,
so I can break this down
let's
as well.
start with talking a little bit about Mainter.
yeah.
Because I do want to say, despite this game going awry, this is the kind of continued glow up for Mainter that I do want to keep praising. Because at the start of the year, it really felt like he was a tank one trick. He has expanded, certainly. And while Cassante is technically a tank, right, it's more bruisery. And the consistency here in a matchup that's supposed to be losing, once you get that lead to hold on to it so well, really the only reason that some of these fights even felt salvageable is because of how far ahead he was. Because G2's positioning was often better, their setup was often better, but the Fed Cassante is what made it so tricky for them.
And it's something that we've talked about at the beginning of the week, the fact that Na'Vi, this team, what we expect from them is the solo laner to step it up because they have it from the jungle. They have it from Paris linking up with Relech. We need to see Poby stepping up and Mainter to put on these big boy shoes, and I feel like so far we've seen them being really strong in the early game. Usually this is when mid-game is when things falter. I feel like if Mainter keeps on playing like this, the way they gave a hard time to G2 today, I'm hopeful for Na'Vi, even if they lost. But Finn, you had something to tell us about Baron again.
Absolutely. Because this was the territorial.
You're not even looking at the camera. You're looking off of
This
the
is the
camera. Look at
territorial Baron, and G2 was dancing around this for quite some time. So I want to show you guys why they're actually starting this Baron. Because what is rule 1 of the Baron fight?
Be blue side.
Be blue side. Yay, they're blue side.
We
Good
got
job,
it.
G2. What is the second rule?
Know your Baron?
Know your Baron. This is the territorial Baron, the weakest out of them, so it makes it a lot easier. If this was the Hunter Baron, I would see them taking a lot more damage while they were starting this, because it is a slow Baron. They have 2 mages and a Jace, not the most damage. Now, what is the third rule of the Baron Pit Fight Club?
Know your plan.
Yes. And as we roll out the clip, I will make it very clear to you guys that the plan is simple. They are keeping this Relech man out of the pit. How did they do that? Then Paranoia goes out, but they are just waiting. They don't hit the Baron at all, and he doesn't want to ult in there when it's 3.6k HP. And now Paranoia is out. The hero cow goes in and knocks him away from the pit as all of G2 turn onto the Baron and burst it out. No chance for Skewmon, because what is the fourth rule of the Baron Pit Fight Club?
Win the smite.
Win the smite, and they did it because the enemy jungler was not in the pit. Super nice cohesion from G2. The fact that they were able to all stop hitting and all start hitting the Baron at the same time shows that they've been through this rodeo multiple times.
The first 4 for 4. I gotta say I'm impressed. And I
Yeah,
will say this is
paying
one
attention.
of the weakness that I saw from Na'Vi here is I don't feel like, one, their side wave management was really good. We saw them losing hundreds of gold in a lot of these scenarios because G2 already had pushed, had already set up, weren't really diligent with that, even though they had TPs, right? Like they can send someone to get on the side wave. It felt like they were nervous. It felt like they felt the pressure that G2 could rush down a Baron, but we saw they couldn't. It took them a year. They have double mages. It takes a really, really long time for them to kill the Baron. The other thing is they didn't really team fight proficiently with the composition that they had. They were forced constantly into these 5v5s kind of lineup skirmish style fights where Ziggs and Victor get infinite free poke, and we saw a lot of fights where both of their carries, both Paubi and Samdi, were just completely zoned out of a fight by a single gravity field or a single satchel charge from Ziggs. So even though they had these strong members, we never really got to see an honest 5v5 in the late game from this lineup.
And I actually think this was a good display of good League of Legends, because Na'Vi, while they kind of ran into G2, they had their own plan. You can tell how much emphasis they put on being first at the dragon. And G2 always came to the midway and was like, damn, you know your stuff. We're not gonna walk into your dragon pit. And for two times in a row, Na'Vi just picked up the dragons and they were at soul point. But I think at this very moment, G2 really realized that if we do this one more time, they're gonna get soul, and they really just tried to force Navi's hand. And I think Na'Vi wasn't really prepared, because the first 2 times they just got away with it they got away with murder for free.
Then how did they make sure they're prepped next time? Because early game, they got it. Mid game, solidified. They have a good approach, but they fall short every time. So how do they make sure that they have better 5v5 situations moving forward?
Just think one step further. Because right now, they were thinking about their own plan, but they didn't really think about what the approach from G2 would be. Usually when you have a good dragon setup, we've seen many times in our league, people walk into your setup, give you a good fight, you get the dragon, you get the good fight, easy money. But when G2 did not give them that plan, they need to be aware. What is G2 gonna do? They're gonna go to Baron this time. They need to be ready for it. They need to walk in as 5, give Relech the space. If people were peeling for Relech in that Baron fight we broke down before, helped him walk up, threw some CC on the Alistar, made sure that it couldn't keep him out of the pit, suddenly it will be a different game.
Look, I think everything you said is right, but I think it's too difficult. I think simplify, draft stronger scaling picks and stronger team fighting picks. I think the Syndra and Ezreal are cute. They did a lot of good things, but it made a lot of the later fights harder to play. Get yourself your own control mage, get yourself your own kind of scaling hyper carry, and just simplify your game plan. Because what Finn said is great, I just think it's way harder to pull off.
Simplify. That's the key here. And that's all first gear. We'll come back in a few moments for game 2. So far, G2 lead. Let's see if Navi can come back.
Your mid laner has died 50% of the time for first bloods thus far in Summer Split, and yesterday he died 0 in both games. So I want you guys to see the improvements that he's making.
Good job. But he's knocked up, and in the middle of an arcane storm, electrocuted. Paris flashes over, but match found, bombs away from Hans Sama.
Cassette. Alisa, looks good, I can stand there. Jinx, I can flash him. Okay, wait. Kill Cassette, guys. Yeah. I flash. Looks good. Looks good. EUJs, guys, EUJs. Nice, thanks for carry, guys. Good job.
Champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express and game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
The whole room was howling. Howling? Oh. That's not howling, buddy. That's...
Did you steal the LEC trophy?
Okay, you can call us.
For a show, show them how you outplay. Go and check the replay. Dubs like all day, boy, you better know. Know that it might be just a little hyphy. Tronic all about these watches go. Cause the games are straight fight. Every team fight coming down to the wire. The whole world trying just to look like us. Take a look at your league, wish you played like us. Nantana shook reality, you're facing a tragedy. When the European legacy comes sucking down your pride to be those feelings of anxiety. The future you don't wanna see, the wrath of our whole dynasty, it spells LEC.
This could be the final chance. Our last dance together. This could be the final chance. Our last dance. Are you ready? Come on, dance with me. With the LEC. Come on, dance with me. Let yourself be free. Come on, dance with me. With the LEC. Come on, dance with me. Do that Pepe D.
Talk that good shit. Boy, you better back it up. If you want the up yell,
Sorry, that's just not enough, cause we got every team fighting lame. Flashbox when they clash, you would never last less than 100. Bring your A game if you wanna claim fame, that'd be your main aim. Now you're in the right lane. Show up or shut up, no time for excuses. Can't take a series, you're probably just useless. You want a shot at us, you can come get it. If you're just talking, then you can forget it. We're gonna blow up, we're on the rise. Euphoria, this is the vibe. We wear the clown nose and we wear the crown. Kings of the West, you know we hold it down. Like
This could be the final chance, our last dance together. This could be the final chance, our last dance. Are you ready? Come on, dance with me, with the LEC. Come on, dance with me, let yourself be free. Come on, dance with me, with the LEC. Come on, dance with me, do that Pepe D.
we've come a long way since the beginning. The dark days of double streams, vacation memes, now charged up and charging forward.
All right, G2 game 1. That's the story. Oh, light it up. Even the refs are in on it now as well. Holy.
That was impeccable timing.
That was.
I'm
Honestly.
very impressed.
We don't always, we don't always acknowledge the refs, but now we get to put them in the limelight a bit as well.
Yeah.
It is too bright for the futures of these two teams, obviously, as Na'Vi move in, and I think after game 1, need a different game plan because the game was close to a point. There was a lot of mid-A
Na'Vi had a
ramming.
good early game.
Yeah, they had a good early game. So now what changes? I mean, Mainta was on the Cassante. Not much could be done or said outside of the fact that he was a pretty bloody good Cassante. But what do you do at that point, Dagda, when you're getting poked down and you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's difficult. You don't really have the setup. You don't really have the engage. So I think I'd like to see a little bit more engage tools drafted from Na'Vi here. But we'll have to see as we are already into the draft. With Poppy gone, is Vi going to start to see her way through the draft, especially with things like Oriana, the Rumble still up and available?
They get it. G2 get it. I mean, I think few teams in the LEC really prioritize this champ, but I mean, I'll tell you right now, when lanes are so important, it feels like he is just the top lane king with a bit of flexibility that can also go jungle as well. Let's see, next direction for Na'Vi, as you said, Oriana needs to go, Vi needs to go as well. Pairings like maybe Jarvan, Rumble. Well, Jarvan's now taken away by Na'Vi.
Yeah, I think Vi still very, very strong. The Oriana is still available, but less powerful when the Nocturne is taken away. So yeah, I'm curious. I think Rumble really does stand out to me, at least for Na'Vi's side. I know Broken Blade obviously has a bunch of picks these have to play into it and yada yada yada, but I do think for Na'Vi that Rumble probably high priority, and then more than likely looking towards something like a Rel, a Leona, or maybe the Camille if you really want to get spicy for Paris, as has 2 games on it and has done relatively well in the early games on it.
Yeah.
Evo nas nazad. Gameplay 2. Da vidimo da li ekipa G2-a može da zatvori ovu seriju.
Oriana is still up. Oriana first pick for G2. It was banned away from them for game 1. Now for game 2, surely it's too good to miss. Also, side note, that Varus is there too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think while she is decent, there's just so many good answers into her, and with the nerfs, she's less lane dominant than she used to be. So I think the Oriana priority has fallen off a smidge. So I'm curious if they end up going for something a little bit different here. Never mind.
No, Dagda.
Excuse me as I coughed. Yes.
How dare you?
I know. But yeah, okay, so Oriana's still going to be taken. You still have like Galio, the Akali, these kind of things. Galio, I think, is good if you want to go like Galio Camille here. Could be an option, right, for Na'Vi.
Nemaš Oriana Nocturne, nemaš Oriana Vi, Skjumo ne igra. Ksina. U teoriji možda igra Nasusa pa mogu da igraju... Da igraju neki giga slow game, ko zna iskreno.
still good.
Wukong,
If you want
Lee
to engage
Sin.
Lee Sin, still good. So you definitely have options in the jungle. I'd much rather, I was going to say, take the support here. Camille was an option, but as we talked about, I think you kind of want some pairings that are more aggressive in the jungle to work with her. So they're going to go for the Leona, which is working as an answer into the Camille, basically being able to follow her around the map and still do relatively well. So I don't think we'll get that from Labrov though. Maybe something like a Bard, or could end up opting in towards the Braum that we saw from the other day. Because Alistair would be a nice pick into this, but you don't really have that option here.
No, you do not indeed. Trundle being considered.
Trundle jedan od Skjumonovih pikova, to mi pije vodu.
Going Skjumon in the jungle. And with Thor as well, how else do you synergize? And by the way, Relech, my biggest question for you now is, do you play Kindred?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, for Relech, I feel like he has some funky answer into Trundle. Even if you don't want to go for something funky, the Lee Sin, I think, is a fine option here. And sure, you can steal away the Leona stats, but it's not the end of the world. So I think for G2, Trundle a little early maybe in the draft here.
But they must have a plan. I mean, pairing with Orianna is nice. Rel as well, I should say. Set up really nice here for the game. But
yeah, I think you just take the Lee Sin here.
I was going to say, I mean, you got really good options here in jungle. Is there a secret pick for Relech?
Yeah, I mean, he has a bunch of champions that you can take into this. Lee Sin has kind of been the staple that we've seen, and yeah, there you go. So, less so about the, hey, I can fight you 1v1 early, but the mobility just very annoying against the Trundle.
I can navigate.
Liu Trundle je giga dobar.
And you've already got, like, very...
Obe ekipe ok draftuju, mislim tu nema šta, ne očekujemo ništa sad ovde da će biti kao specifično loše s jedne s druge strane.
I think you've got options here for Navi, and now you've got to engage too as well. So if Navi can have that strong early game that we saw in the last game, they're better set up to continue through that strong early game into the mid to late game.
Yeah, I mean, snowballing Lee Sins today has been a pretty good success story as you see some of the bans that are going to take away from the follow-up engage. Siva's one of them. Now, with Siva down as well, does that mean Hansama is going to start flexing towards more things like Corki?
Corki, Zaya, other options, right? Corki...
Meni se ne sviđa ovdje ništa u Casio. Pogotovo ne Corki. U Leonu je loš, u Casio je loš.
I do like your mention of Zaya. I mean, we don't have Rakan, but I do... with anything that can engage. When you have Leona Lee Sin, Zaya's got a bit of playmaking to nullify that as well. And Best taken away, by the way, as we look towards top lane.
Yeah, very slow draft to come through. I still think you can ban away the Zaya here if you wanted to, but it's actually going to be the Gnar.
Gnarban, zašta? Zaya je bolje nego Corki. Mislim, Corki je fajn, samo problem je što je Corki toliko velik heroj da ga je mnogo lako pogoditi s Leonom.
So you're kind of snookered that way. The Gnar ban, I was going to say, like, you are probably set up for Mbessa or maybe Sion, but Vayne is still up and available, so I think you have to leave that counter pick to main turn the top lane.
If you blind a tank here.
Yeah, so I think this is where you just show your hand and say, hey, we're going to take an AD carry into the bottom lane. Maybe you do take the Zaya, maybe you go something along the lines of
Breo nam bot.
which I don't think is the end of the world, and then continue on from that point. But it's actually with the Rumble, okay.
Vayne, Varus top was an option that I think Mirwin kind of created in the...
Ja mislim da ne pikaš Galija nikad u Bibija. Galio top je decent. Udir top, verovali ili ne, Udir top isto radi giga dobro. Kled verovatno može da radi, ne znam kakav je matchup.
Yeah, so I think this is where G2 are a little stuck because they're not entirely sure they want to try and progress. You've got a potential Casio flex.
Da, baš mi se ne sviđa Rumble blind u Bibija. Baš, mislim, meni je baš loša priča, nemam pojma.
You can still play a pretty AP heavy Galio, so you don't have to worry too much about the Trundle stealing the stats. Still is a bit annoying when you're a melee carry, but we'll have to see if that is going to be the game plan. Is actually just going to play the Galio into the Rumble. That makes sense, yeah. Deny that as a flex pick here from Navi.
There you go, that too. Yeah. I mean, not going to be the Varus top, but it's still something that can nullify the Rumble. So now this top, or rather this 80 carry counter pick must be, or rather pick, must be worth it. Are you going to run Corki into Varus? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst matchup. You can Valkyrie forward, look for decent trades, like, but deny Varus the ability to abuse his upfront, his long range. And as well, once you have the early game in your favor, you're kind of matching tier for tier. Triforce spikes very, very hard for some of these fights.
Ja mislim da je to Klara rigovala.
What you're looking for is, like,
Sve kao, naš dobra šansa se dobiju, u stvari full rigovala. Korki s druge strane je okej. I Galija sam napomenuo, mislim to igraju...
You have some very good skating, like the Oriana going late game. You got this Galio that's going to be very tanky and difficult enough for 3 of these melee champions on Navi side.
Igraju Rambla i radi na kraju dana.
G2 running in to try and close out our night quick smart. We had the quickest game of summer in our first series from Vitality. Can G2 beat that? But not to downplay the fact that Navi were a very respectful opponent in Game 1. Game 1 was close. Game 1, as Dag was saying, it was a nice early game. It was actually quite dominated by Navi, and then we got towards mid, we got towards a slower pace, where G2 got to slow it down to their speed of game. What I mean by that is the fact that Hansama neutralized mid-wave consistently. Caps just got to pick up resources, catch up in the game, and Broken Blade, who got shut out in the game, essentially was just a poke bot trying to farm damage knives.
Yeah, I do think for Navi, though, at least this time, it's like, hey, playing around Mainter, very valuable this time. The Rumble going to be able to do significantly more with the gold lead. Same when you look towards mid lane. Like, I think Poby, especially if you can burn some of these early flashes in the Oriana, repeat ganks become much more likely. Like, there are a lot of tools for Navi to find skirmishes and lane plays in the early stages with this Leon and this Lee Sin. And I expect that's where we'll see a huge amount of that early pressure from Navi.
And the Lee Sin get off the ground again. Relech, it's up to you. Paris needs to roam with him. Sync up, support jungle. That's Navi to a T. As we return to Summoner's Rift. There was a small pause getting into game, but it looks like nothing major. And you know what? Galio into Rumble. A classic. What can the Rumble do? Not much. Maybe early levels. If Mainter can find anything, that'll be a big deal. But outside of that, as it goes on, there'll be less and less.
Top G2 Vino, jungle G2 Vino, mid mislim da je G2 Vino, jedino na botu mislim da je Korki jači od Varusa, ali mislim da je G2 jako zadovoljan kako je prošao ovaj draft. Mislim da ovo njima jako odgovara.
The plays he can make around the Oriana, even just helping out Relech in the 1v1 against Skimont is going to be crazy important. So I think a lot of this early game is going to once more fall back on Relech and Paris. So I'm excited to see if he can have that impact again that he did in game number 1.
Yeah, I think his Shen was great until it wasn't, wasn't it?
I mean, he didn't have much that he could do, right? You're a Shen that's hoping for a flash taunt to be your main engage tool, which is just a bit miserable against Ziggs and Jace, you know?
Very well said. Caps gets chunked out here. We look towards the Noxious Blast. Poby gets 2 first, and kind of expect before anything like Dissonance is up and available. Poby has the advantage. Skewmont spotted out on a ward, as he's now on Raptors. And meanwhile, it's going to be a 3-camp start here from Relech on the Lee Sin. Going to get a quick back in it as well. Base, go towards blue. And then with a longsword start here. See what he can do. Shattering Strike doesn't land from Lebrov, otherwise would have been a nice test of damage onto Sam D, who's suffering a little bit in this lane, with the early levels going to Hansama and Lebrov.
So we're seeing Relech go for that quick reset for the longsword once again, knowing that if he ends up running to Skewmont, we'll definitely want the extra little bit of AD damage. But I think with the way this early game's going, you got push on both side lanes, so it should be fairly simple for Skewmont to pick up this top side scuttle, not have much pressure, and already like a lot of vision going to be invested, I imagine, from G2 and just trying to keep track of Relech.
Korki će farmovati Varusa ako Varus ne bude...
I have some perks quotes here in this slow game. Zenith Blade, all the crash down interrupts. Maybe it's not slow anymore. Lebrov in trouble, wants to remount. Sam D getting the Gatling gun down, shredding.
Ako nema neki lead.
Strike not going to come through just yet. The stun out as well.
Mislim, Varus je kod Jhin, on ima taj kao downtime kad je Letality. Cleanse Burned, Varus je samo jači od 2 heroja zajedno u ovom delu partije.
Meanwhile, junglers want to get busy here. Relech safeguards in, now spotted on a ward. This is going to turn into a dive.
Yeah, they want to try and set this up. Relech level 4. G2 trying to escape.
Lebrov trying to block. The crash down connects on the back of him. Relech does force out the bottom lane though, which means no wave for Hansama.
Yeah, you could see the Skewmont was considering moving down to that bottom side to pick up a second Scuttle Crab for himself, but doesn't really want to run into the rest of Navi as they back away. But little win there for Navi on the bottom side, getting that push, making sure that Hansama can't collect the wave. He's zoned off the turret. Skewmont in response will get the Raptors though.
You can see the selective pathing from Skewmont. I love little things like that where he's like hugging the wall so he doesn't get caught by a potential.
To znači, Klaro, da nam se pridružuješ na Patreon aramima. Znači, pogledala me i rekla je, ne. Ja se taman ponadao, onda će igra arame s nama. Što ne? Zabavan je Mayhem. A jesi igrala Mayhem? Mnogo je zabavan. Dobro, ti si tu za competitive, eto viš.
He's trying to be tricky with the noxious blast, but everything hits Poby. Great damage down. Distance was used for movement speed there from Caps, so he could get out of the miasma quick smart. Lebrov covering for his mid laner as Poby so far in this matchup has been pretty successful. Lebrov going to come back in. Wave's looking to crash. Poby wants to use his time.
It's a little awkward for Caps because he did just come back into the lane, so not happy that he had to lose essentially 2/3 of his health bar to that play. But actually starting to move across towards this mid lane as well. Look for just a quick cover on this mid lane before he moves to his bot side camps.
Meanwhile, Hansama in a bit of trouble. Phosphorus Bomb connects. Hans goes up to auto but doesn't get it. And for the piercing arrow, there's no blight, so not much damage. Sandy doing very well here as you look at the wave. Yeah, you want to crash it.
Yeah, he'll start to push it out. Waiting for his jungler and support kind of to move down in position because Lebrov would like to hold this wave, but with no real vision. Wondering if they will actually spot this out. That Lebrov could get caught, but no, actually you're just going to see Relech start up Dragon instead.
Sees him, Shattering Strike. Wave crashes in all the same, though he can't hold it. And it is a cannon wave, so it looks like not much will we miss here by Hansama. Crash down just in case.
Still very early Dragon take for Navi. You can see Relech moving over towards that, essentially reading that Skewmont had to reset and then move up towards his top half of the map. I'm with the push on bot side. Does mean Samdi's
Mislim, napomenuo bi sad koliko u ovom trenutku kao znači za Navi to što uzimaju Drake i sve ostalo, kad pogledam prethodni game, stvarno nekako nemam preterano vere. Jer samo igranje na mapi i sve ostalo mi izgledalo jako loše u odnosu na ekipu G2-a. Lisi nema neke killove, nema momentum, nemam pojma.
So that seems to be the priority. Skewmon ahead of Relech here in the jungle matchup. So this Scuttle will definitely net 6. Relech a little bit behind, has to clear wolves, and then would have the opportunity, but this Scuttle's already going to be gone. Skewmon doesn't care that it's on a ward. Down it goes, level 6 acquired. And advantage for Skewmon. Always nice to see for G2 fans.
Yeah, also a decent amount of vision in the river for G2 too. They just set up on the they just set up on the pink ward basically at the back of the red. Here, actually, what am I doing?
Show me. What's over there?
Pink ward, which is just giving a ton of vision on his bottom side now.
Hansama's just dead. Flashes away. Sam D wants to match it. Got his own flash, but he's pierced. And he's dead by Skewmond. Gets away. Fantastic flash. And I thought Hansama was kaput.
Yeah, I thought Sam D was going to consider following, but decided against it in the end. He ends up holding on to his flash, realizing he's probably not getting away from that one. But that was the vision control play that we were just talking about. They end up with a bunch of pink wards, so there's no vision for Navi to spot exactly what the Trundle's up to and managed to get in and kill off Sam D.
And that monstrous wave is being denied. Hansama from, almost getting solid just then to losing out a little bit in the wave is now in a fantastic position here on the Varus. Look at a replay because it looks like it was after the wave push that Sam D wanted to stop.
Yeah, he just wanted to step up and see if he could quickly clear out this wave, maybe get a chunk onto Hansama as well, but not realizing that Trundle was in the bush. Sam D nearly gets the kill.
Mislim, ideja Samdi je bila ok. Quirky run down na Varusa, to je ono što sam rekao i ranije. Ali postoji taj ali. I taj ali je gdje jednostavno imaš situaciju ako je bilo ko tu, a ti si već bacio W ako si lagan kill. Da, ti ćeš uvek ubiti Varusa u toj situaciji, ali kažem opet.
Varus again in a great position. G2 with a 1,000 gold lead as well because it's not just Skewmon. But now Hansama joining in the pack as grabs the focus dagger. Relech is up on the top side of the map, gets some deep vision down. He's going to start us off.
Just wants to see exactly where the Trundle is. Has Paris already in position. Sam D didn't burn anything on that last play, so obviously still has the cleanse and the flash if Hansama tries to go for something. Hans also not having his own flash does make him a little bit more vulnerable as Mainter. heavy trading against Broken Blade.
He's also overheating as well with the flame spitter up. Broken Blade's in a lot of trouble. Flash might have to be burned.
Fajni. Neće da padne u to matchup on.
Broken Blade's okay for now. Holds onto that trigger here as Xenoblade gonna connect. Cap's in a bit of trouble, running for his life now. Holding onto the shockwave. When will he use it? The biggest question is not gonna be answered just yet. Navi doing pretty well through this mid lane. Nabrov still having to cover. But Caps is being matched by Poby a lot as we look towards top. There's a flash justice punch dodged. Nice flash timing from Mainter, otherwise he was dead.
Nice flash from Mainter. Relech just spotted out the Skumon was there, which I think immediately put the hackles of Mainter up. And now Relech is mid though.
Look at the Sonic Wave. Crash down catches the Zenith Blade though by the toe. Miasma's there as well. Poby, he's not going to need to find the kill because Relech took it with a Sonic Wave. And Paris will survive after a shockwave.
Nice patience from Relech. Didn't actually throw out the Sonic Wave initially, even though Labrov was on the Miasma, because he didn't want to get caught in that shockwave if he ended up following up. So basically holding off, saying Labrov is going to die, or they have to burn the shockwave early and make sure they're able to pick it up.
And someone wants to steal away Scuttle. Relech is still threatened by Mont here, as the almost Trinity Force Trundle walks into position. Slight level lead. Actually, no, it's a full level lead, isn't it? Damn, Skimon.
Da nije u stvari. Shivana ti je set plus Malphite recimo, a za Hen ti je, kako imaš Renekton pa Atrox, a za Hen ti je novi Atrox. Ništa nisam rekao za mene. A nema veze.
With the mental control that G2 have had in the side lanes, it's made it very difficult for Navi to really play around Relech.
And Poby's low as well, that's why G2 can do this. Poby's up against his turret for the first time in this game. Xenoblade getting connect, Solarflare down as well over the blue buff that resets. The kick away, Skewmon sent to his team. Sonic Wave taken, chomped down, Samdi trying to get the damage down with Phosphorus Bomb. Relech gets away, manages to safeguard his way out of dodge, but Paris going to be the next target. Cap's thinking about coming in, but never mind, LeBron with a remount up, the flash away. Xenoblade again.
Dobro.
But Samdi dies to Hansam A. He finds the 1v1 that you didn't expect. Paris left him alone, and he gets bitten down. G2, Sonic Wave, resonating strike. Relech goes back in, but it will be...
Hansama sa 20 hjalta ceo, ja ne mogu verujem.
But Hansama has picked up 2 kills of his own.
It ended up a little bit messy, but it's a 2 for 2 in the end on that bottom side. Absolutely insane set of plays, because Paris off the back of that, I thought might have been the hero with that flash Zenith Blade, as Broken Blade getting hit by the overheat again.
Good Duran, good half HP trade, but Broken Blade a little bit lower end. Needs the Hollow Radiance before he can feel a little bit safer here. And Caps didn't even join in that play, Dagger. Like,
no, but keep your eyes here on the Zenith Blade at the end, because obviously you get a decent engage here from Relech to start things off. Samdi trying to poke over the wall, Relech gets the kick through, but Samdi missing some of these rockets as they come up, particularly here onto Skewmon as he's low. Maybe would have been enough to just kind of finish off with that auto attack there. But as we get through here, Paris flashes forward to try and get the help onto Labrov. But actually, because he connects onto Labrov as the flash, it means that Hansama isn't there to get the Shield of Dawn, so there's no stun. So Samdi ends up dying, and it's kind of the fact that Labrov tanked the Zenith Blade on the far end, I think, that actually helped G2 salvage some of this play.
Relech gets a nice bit of shutdown there on Skewmon. But then, yeah, Hansama picks up the gold. So, I feel like that's a messy trade. Skewmon, heads and hands, was really not that bad.
Skewmon, inače, to sam baš gledao nešto vezano za, da li bio MSI, da su ljudi komentarisali kako je Skewmon baš ogroman tilter.
Dragon did go to Na'Vi. I guess we should give the caveat that, like, 2 dragons here for Na'Vi. The stacking has begun. Small gold lead for G2, but dragon stacking is still king in League of Legends.
And Na'Vi have said that they like to play around this objective. We heard it from Paris as well, but you may need to now be the engage tool as G2 start to posture around River. Not too much happening though. I think it's more just so that then Skewmon can get back down to his bot side camps, and you can also hold on towards that position for Hans Salmon where he's able to contest the wave. And I think in this spot, G2 again, like, play around this. There's Faris who's getting into a good spot. Skewmon is going to be nice and big. And it's just let Cap scale, right? This Orianna doesn't have to worry about too much backline threat in these fights, so can go for a bit more of a burst build.
As Caps, he flashes, of course. Sending out the ball, waiting for the shockwave. Mainter has no flash. The ulti going to be...
Ovi ult od Gali izgleda kao onaj augment iz TFT-a. Onaj orbital laser. Mislim, kažem, Interu će biti baš teško da igra game. Jer su blindali Rambla u BB-a. BB je ono čovjek koji je patentirao 60 counter pikova u Rambla koji kao provereno rade. Evo, on je samo mrtav. Skjumante isto ljaga. Mislim, koliko su bili close prošli game, mislim da ovo samo bio undoomed. Prošli game je bilo jednako i G2 ih je stompovao. Sad kada G2 vodi... Iskreno nemam pojma.
Rather than going for the grubs, moving down towards that bottom side. No, sorry. Instead of the grubs going down to the bottom side to get the kill on towards Sam D. Now you get the cross map as well, where they saw a lot of people on that bottom side for Navi, so Cap starts to roam top. So it's just been nicely done by G2 to kind of push into one side, check what's happening, and then immediately counterpunch on the opposite side. And Navi just haven't quite been able to keep pace. Again, a core portion of Navi's success for me has been Paris in the early game, but in a matchup where he can't really get control, he hasn't been able to get on the map. Skewmod is stealing camps in the face of Navi, and it's all starting to come off the wheels for Navi.
I mean, also the success on Rilech that has been there in the past, even though he has 3 kills in this game, he's just not getting his jungle. Invades like that, previous advantages Skewmod found. Now he's got Triforces. Hoping tries to find the mark. Rilech spotted out. We look towards bottom lane because Mainzer and Broken Blade are going to fight it out, but Hollow Radiance is now there. Big differences. Top's still going to be the focus. I think we can leave this for the time being because everyone's up here for the Herald spawns in 20 seconds. Paris found out by a pillar. Shattering strike down. He presses Eclipse, but that ain't going to save him. Chomp once again. He knows he's done for. And Caps will take the kill, who is slowly getting more and more resources in this game.
Subjugation just stealing all those stats that Leona is famous for, making her absolutely look like wet paper. And it's just nice picks. I was watching on the mini-map, it's Paris in a conga line with Labrov chasing him out of his own jungle as Mainter looking for a trade again, but the Galio may be too tanky.
Oh, Poby's dead. Petrifying Gaze not reaching. Caps turns around anyway. He doesn't need to see his opponent die. There's Broken Blade close to dying himself. Mainter, what can he do? He's in the overcharge, overheating zone. Flash for flash. He's still ticking on Broken Blade, but now flash down for both top laners.
And Mainter forcing the flash there, but he kind of knew he had to make a play happen. This game is slipping away from them. Was hoping for the solo bolo, but the Galio saying...
To je fair. To ti je klasična priča da kad gubiš, to se svima događa u solo queue. Kad gubiš i ekipa ti grifa, ti si u fazonu, ja moram nešto da uradim jer ću samo izgubiti game. I ovakve pleve ti ne bi radio da je game even, ali kad si već behind i kad vidiš da malo ide protiv tebe, malo više ide protiv tebe, u fazonu si vidi. Ako nešto ne uradim, samo smo dot. Tako da, okej.
But it's clean from Caps. The sidestep Poby didn't expect Skewmon to be there. Back to live. Navi will get the Rift Herald, but here's the cross map we were talking about, right? Immediately, you're looking at Labrov already in that bottom side, looking to zone away Mainter, so Caps can get access to this bot side turret, and that's going to be a 1.5k gold lead for the Orianna. That's only going to open up more now with these turret plates.
Caps, I mean, that 1,500 gold is leading to second item coming shortly, maybe that Proto Belt on top of Torch. Is Herald going to be spawning? Rilech going to drive it in. Wave has been cleared out.
There's a Trundle pinner.
Okay. Yeah, worried about that, I guess. Kick away for Skewmon. He can't get back in the Herald. Rilech is dead. So that whole passage of play kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rilech realized halfway through that this is not going to go so well. I tried to abort. I was like, oh, crap, I got nowhere to go. It's a little unfortunate.
And then he was too far forward, and then the pillar did come out. And he couldn't get back in. They locked the doors.
And even that was just... That one's unfortunate. That was a little bit silly.
Unfortunate is the word for it. Dragon goes down, G2 to stop that stacking. 6,000 gold. And you know, it doesn't matter how hard our scriptwriters try. Like, start of the split, they come back from EWC, come back from MSI, and people are like, oh my god. You know, like, oh, versus MCOY wasn't the greatest series. But then, even after the KC loss, everyone else shudders against G2. Navi, they're going to be the same. Paris is dead. Comma comes through. Labrov take it. Oh! Shattering strike almost. Mainter gets in the biz. Now, equalizer down. What can you do? Hunter's run out of mana, but it doesn't matter because here comes Labrov for the engage. Trundle is just womping away. Rilech is going to
Kako s onda ne mogu ništa. A i Trundle kad je Ahijed je samo pakao, pogotovo kad moraš se da trčiš u njega. Skewmon je baš prejak. Baš je prejak ovaj game.
The chains of corruption from Han Sama preventing Rilech from following up on the Sonic Wave, maybe putting some threat on towards the back line is just perfect. Buys the time for Skewmon to get in. He's a big old trundle, and that troll is chomping his way through Navi right now.
Blade, meanwhile, the quietest one of the game is still just navigating waves and pushing them himself. This is continuously being ridiculous, this game, with the gold in how it's developing. So, where do we go next, Dagner? What are you...
Sorry, I was trying to figure out...
Your head turned, what happened?
Where the shield on the trundle came from. The stop to back. Was it just Cap? The Caps just shield him maybe before? I don't know.
Should be qualified for this. Probably Caps E, no?
Must have something shielded him
I'm
anyway.
trying to think about listing. I mean, it's got to be Cap. It's got to be Command Protect. Lebrov versus Relech. The matchup no one expected. He's going to go back to red. But Hansama is now going to walk towards mid. Has flash and ulti available. Shield of Durant. Poke's going to come through, try and hit Sam D. Mid turret. Next on the agenda here for G2. With 50 seconds for the Baron. But with the way Hansama is building, it is just full poke. Yay, Skibon. 100 wins. What a smile.
I mean, well deserved, honestly. Like, this guy's come in and been very impressive, right? There was so much controversy around, like, oh, when Yeti came in and what they're going to look like and how they're going to do it, but...
My only question is, we didn't just show that because they're going to win this game.
No, he won it last game.
Last game, I was going to say production.
Oh, Renegade.
Shockwave flashed away from camp, I believe, stolen by Skimon in the end anyway.
Yeah, he's given Jungle 101, which is going to be his wins in the LEC after this game.
It would be funny if this was 100, the one they're about to win. But, I mean, again, it's just kind of, it's all it's done deal, isn't it?
7000, da, baš teško, iskreno, baš teško.
He's level 13. Level 13 in a 20-minute game ain't bad. Actually, sorry, 14, I meant to say. Pretty much the same level as Broken Blade with the quest that gives him extra experience. So yeah, he's doing it very well. Deadman's ability to chase down mid-turret will not fall just yet. It's only a matter of time, I feel, as 2 minutes till the Dragon dagged up, and G2 are not really pressed. You know, this is nice. It's just we're just chilling. We're on a...
Yeah. I mean, it's back to basics for G2, right? And I think it's, like, as much as tomfoolery as we've had in the LEC right now, it also means that we've got two very solid teams in KC and G2. Like, I've been incredibly impressed with the way that they've been playing.
They're the world's teams.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah. Like, they're incredibly calculated in the way they play the map.
Yep.
They clearly have a good understanding of how they want to try and approach this meta as well. And I think it's just been very fun to see the growth on both sides, right? Because looking at G2, Hansam and Lebrov, for me, have stepped up to be the best bot lane in the league right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which was not something that I really expected to be saying off of the last year that we saw from them. But Lebrov has been insane in the support role. Like, this man's glow up, I am fascinated
since
by.
first stand, like, I mean, because first stand G2, obviously that was crazy, their run. And people don't give them enough credit because first stand's a newer tournament and people are like, oh, it's not MSI.
8K u 20 minuta. Ja ne vidim kako G2 ovo gubi. Iskreno ću biti jako razočaran ako G2 izgubi ovaj game. Najiskrenije.
The T1 series was a great example of how that bot lane can be. I mean, just how good this team can be. So obviously with the G2 Glaze there is Caps is getting an imminent gank, or at least they're trying to on the side of Navi.
No wave though.
Yeah, the wave's gone. Dagda, the concern for the community. I've been out in the community. I've heard the thoughts of the people.
Okay. Yeah.
Who the hell is our third team? Because people are worried about the quality.
There was a very good reason why I said top two.
Yeah.
You know?
The top two, you know.
Ja verujem u KC, verujem u G2, ali slažem se s casterima, treći tim je, ne znam. Treći tim nam je, ne znam. Po legitimno predstave nemam koji je treći tim u Evropi sad.
Maybe, not guaranteed.
I mean, that's not guaranteed. Yeah, that's a...
I'm going to say
Nemam pojma, Vitality Navi? Koji?
They would then, in playoffs, start without, you know, they could start near the bottom. They've also got to verse Navi, SK, Team Heretics. I think SK unpredictable. Team Heretics have been a little bit better. I mean, Navi have had some pretty good series. Game 1 of this series was pretty good. So, it was ran. Relech is going to face check. Crash down, chain corruption. He is dead in an instant. Hansama's damage computes. While Skewmon is battering away. And Parthenak's down on the bottom of our screen.
Yeah. A little unfortunate for Relech, because that was their cross map.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, and I can understand where he's at. Like, hey, look, let's send out a Hail Mary play. Maybe hope we can get Paris, but... not Paris, sorry, Lebrov, but not able to. And yeah, I think they're fine with that. Something tells me they're okay.
No, I mean, no spite for Navi. They're definitely not fine with that. But you said on G2 are fine with not bursting a smite.
Yeah.
So Baron's gone. And as you at home can tell,
Mislim, jedino koji što radi ovaj game je Rileč, a čak i on kaže, mislim, odigrao je zašto igra Lee Sin, a Rileč je dobar jungler, stvarno jeste. Mislim da je Rileč jedan od razloga zašto Navi uopšte konkurentan za bilo šta ovde. I prošli split na Atruksu je bio baš insane.
I mean, this is unlosable. G2 can't lose this game. Everyone be like, oh, 7-0, Stereo, what do you say? Guys, shut up. It doesn't matter. Like, it's, you know, I don't believe in all that. Like, my wife has a salted lamp, you know those salt lamps? You know the pink ones? The salt lamp?
Oh.
There's salt lamp, right? And it's like something, I don't know.
Like,
I think there's something.
I know there's pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah, but there's a lamp for it. Outside of it, adding humidity.
Is it a genie lamp?
No, it's not a genie lamp. It's a nice lamp. I think there's something to it. I don't believe in that stuff. All right, good for you if you do. I want everyone to be happy, okay? Everyone can be happy. What was I talking about? I was talking about the lamp. Why did I?
And then top 3 teams. And
my body right now thinks it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah, you are.
4 a.m.
Yeah. You are still in Indonesia time.
I'm in Indonesia time. Yo, shout out SEA people. If you're awake right now, you guys are crazy. Like, it's 4 a.m. at least. 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. I don't know what it is. It was hard watching LEC. Like, I'd be up and I'd fall asleep all the time because my baby would wake up and then I'd fall asleep. And so it would just be impossible. It is good to be back.
It's good to have you back.
However quick today was. Because the G2 pushed towards top.
Ne znam, to je fora, Borik, što kažem, ja stvarno ne znam ko je treći tim Evrope. Legitimno nemam pojma. Ško razmišljam i... ne znam. Kao G2 i KC su očigledni favoriti, ali sve osim toga mi je jako klimavo. Oj. Oni nisu nakon toga uspjeli da stompa. Ja sam mislio da je fight gotov nakon Real, iskreno.
For now, good disengage from Na'Vi, they survive. The inhibitor will drop.
Look, I saw the angle of Braum. If only Broken Blade still had his ultimate available, that could have been it, but instead you just become a missile to shoot back into your own team. Either way though, it is going to be that top lane inhibitor going down. You're still in a ton of control, but yeah, there is very little that you can do here. Chain of Corruption onto Paris. They kind of end up pushing forward on towards him. The turnaround is there, but that early Galio ult there means that then there's no real follow-up for the rest of it here. At least you still get a little bit. But I thought that could have been it. But it's the flash immediately from her ledge to kick the Realm back into the team, is the only thing that kind of helps Na'Vi survive there.
Gives them a bit of grace, but still we move back to the unlosable, unthrowable game that G2 have in front of them. 3k gold lead for Caps. I'm not going to talk to you about items. I'm going to talk to you about what this means for G2. 5-1. They will not lock in playoffs here, but they're pretty bloody close. And even though 6 is kind of the magic number, as KC kind of proved with the 6-0 start, where they are the top of the table.
KC je baš lagan. Za Isu kažem, stvarno nemam pojma. Legitimno ne. Očigledno G2 i KC su ono kao najbolji, ali sve ostalo je toliko bilo klimavo da ja nemam reči. Mislim, G2 juče isto 2-0 ubedljiv vid, nema tu šta. G2 odigrao jako clean.
Now being down, Paris looking for an angle, while G2 escape.
Let's go G2's blue buff though. So, who's the real winner here?
He did the SOFM.
Yeah.
Game is ending,
what are you
going
to do, man? Like, what do you do in this position as Na'Vi?
I'll never forget SOFM. Yeah. When the game, I can't remember how many Suning games it was. It was like ending in regular season. His team was losing the base, and he was at enemy Krugs. Like,
yeah, but he got to World Finals, so
but he did get to World Finals. And it's so funny, I think it took until that World Finals where people actually started calling him SOFM rather than SOFM in the Chinese broadcast. Because we had him on the English broadcast, he's like, it's called Style of Me. That's what it stands for. And so it's SOFM, like initials. Anyway, there you go, fun facts about SOFM here in the LEC, unrelated. But we're just hovering.
Na'Vi, bukvalno samo gledao, ja ne vidim kako oni... U stvari vidim, što da ne. Što da ne, iskreno. Rileč uzme i baci neki kick, šutne Galija u Han Samu i Kapsa, a Han Sama nema ovaj shield na sebi nekako i onda ga Rumble ulti prekulpi i onda oni rade nešto. U idealnom se, uvek postoji neki idealan scenario. Uvek postoji neki ono SKT van 10k golda down teamfight. Da li je realno, verovatno nije, ali dobro.
Playing a bit of big walk here, just moving back and forth between their fans and the base. As Mainter actually going to take quick TP in. And now...
Petrifying gaze on there, slow, grounded, nice. Shockwave brings him back though, and he will die. Shield won't save his graces. As Hansama moves to 6, turret's going to drop down. They've got to deal with the business here on Na'Vi from bot, from top. And the way G2 are ending this game is going to be all 3 lanes at this point. Na'Vi down 1 for another 45 seconds. An Infinity Edge for Sam D to try and hold on at 9,000 gold in the hole. G2 putting short work to what we thought could be a team up and rising. Only game 1 looked close. Game 2 looked unremarkably easy for G2 as a chomp out of the last Nexus tower going to be there. Power's going to flash away. Piercing arrow after piercing arrow for Hansama connects. And that is going to be enough to move to the Nexus.
You're getting a little low though. Caps doesn't have any mana. Na'Vi, this would be your moment.
That solar flare almost hit me. Getting closer to the sun as Paris going to Zenith Blade in there, buying time. Roulette looking for an angle, but Paris is going to quickly die. Poby looking to hit his target, and that's going to
Uiš, Caps, nemaš mane više. Okej. Samdi hoću u fontanu se nahila istovremeno. Da, samo next. Fajncu. Human je živ. Nema mane za Q, ali živ je. I nemaš Korki gubi. GG's, brz dan. Jako brz dan. Laganih 2-0 za ekipu G2-a. Iskreno, donekle nisam očekivao da će ovoliko ubedljivo da bude. Verovao sam da će Navi možda malo više života da pokaže, ali... Bilo kako bilo. Danas, kao što smo rekli, giga brz dan. Sad nemamo lec nekoliko dana, vraćamo se sa lecom tek za 3 dana, vraćamo se u petak, gdje pratimo, provjerit ću, Shifters SK i onda Vitality Giants-e, tako da to će nam biti meč u petak, vraćamo se znači 14. za lec, ali zato imamo EBL već od srede, tako da 12. gledamo EBL, to će biti dosta cool, ja ću ostaviti intervju kao obično. Večeras bi trebao da bude neki lagani live, tako da, bilo sutra. Malo pauza od competitive e-sporta, je to jedan dan od malo gde u stvari neće biti ništa što se prenosa tiče, ali kažemo opet, nastavljamo odmah od srede. Ljudi moji, ja se nadam da ste uživali, ostavljam vam intervju nakon toga. Gasim live, a mi se vidimo kasnije na streamu.
Let's go, G2! The crowd goes wild here. Wait, I have my sunglasses.
Oh, you saw the sunglasses. Fair enough.
Gabs, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
4-0 week.
Pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
It's actually solid.
Are you happy with the games, though? Yeah? Oh, my God.
You get there. It was pretty good. It's pretty good overall.
You got there in the end.
Yeah.
Not all the games look easy, though.
Yeah, I mean, some were definitely more difficult than others. We would also have loved to win, especially our week 1 against KC. There was some fun series.
Yeah.
But we were in France, and there were a lot of KC fans.
There were a lot of KC fans.
We need to create some hype, you know.
I will say that was the most important one, because that was the one where BB was like, ah.
No. But yeah, I want to follow up on this actually, because talking to BB, talking to Romain, BB went like this. He was at the front. You guys were supposed to follow him. You guys were supposed to mock the crowd as well. They all abandoned BB in that walk.
That is not.
What was
that is not what happened. That is not. So actually, it all started the day before because we actually had a G2 fan meet, and then when we were going to the G2 fan meet, there were basically like a million KC fans standing in front of the in front of our G2 fan meet, just like doing basically the same thing to us.
Okay.
And then someone was doing like this to me, and then I started doing it as well. And then everyone thought it was funny because like everyone was just laughing as well with the fans as well. And then I was saying like, oh yeah, we can do it tomorrow. But I was like, I'll do it if someone does it to us. But then we were walking, and everyone was just giving high five. So I was just giving high five as well. And then I realized afterwards that like, look, you can see in the back, I'm just like high fiving everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I didn't even realize that we were doing it. But fair enough.
All right, we're showing. We're trying to like, oh. You didn't follow your top laner. Drama. Uh-oh.
And it's like, BB, he's not going to notice before watching the replay because he's standing at the front.
That's
so
the funniest.
Know.
By far the funniest part of the story is that man probably thinks you're standing behind him like, and you're just like, hey, nice to see you. High five.
But jokes aside, summer is going so well for you guys, and I know some of you have been complaining. I mean, not complaining, but being very vocal about the pace of this year, of this season, how everything is tiring. Maybe. How do you reflect on the results you guys had so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely been nice already to just have like a bit more, like we had a bit more like chill schedule, of course, compared to EWC, MSI, Roadshow. Like a lot of travel, especially, I think can be tough when it's like new hotels, new flights. Like a lot of flying around, changing everywhere. It can definitely be quite exhausting. I think now that we just had a few weeks to just be at home. Of course, we're still scrimming and practicing, but it's definitely been a good way to just reset a bit. And I think we took many important lessons away from this tournament. So as long as we can apply them well, I think we're going to be a strong team.
Do you feel like anything changed for G2 this summer? Because you started off strong. You guys stayed together. So where do